There we go. Now it's actually recording the audio, but it's not recording. It was recording out of the actual camera. Anyways, continuing. Yeah, that was my roommate, and this was Hall Weekend. This was fun. And we went as Silk Sonic duo. Oh, we got to talk about music tastes after this. Okay. My Spotify stats. I'm gonna
pull these up
just to have them ready.
Okay.
And then, do you want to do the same for you, or do you?
Yeah,
not want to?
I mean, I can. You can
off the dome.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
How do you look at it like currently?
So just go to my stats for Spotify, and then. Yeah, agree. And then you can sign in from there, and then.
Okay, yeah, we can go over top tracks, top artists, top genres.
Yeah.
Or top genres might be stupid, but
genre. I hate top genres. Yeah, it sucks. You can just do top tracks, top artists, and talk about that. That's enough of a talking point. So, really, the last 4 weeks might be. This is so embarrassing. Not really. Some of them are fine.
Top song is really good.
I didn't know. Okay, I'll talk about this later, but I didn't know about this song until recently.
The whole album's good.
Yeah, and I didn't know that it was like a double. I didn't know that they could do that, like a double album.
Like a double, yeah.
There's
a lot of people like Drake, Scorpion, Kendrick's new album was double.
Really? Okay. Oh wait, really? I didn't know that.
Mr. Morale, Big Steppers.
Oh, okay. We're definitely gonna get into that. Okay, but first let's continue. Where were we? We were talking about.
We were talking about Nope, but we were gonna move on to Midsummer.
Okay.
I think.
Are we done talking about Nope? I think so. Yeah. I mean, unless what would you rate it out of 10? What would your Rotten Tomatoes score be for Nope?
8.
8. That's solid. Why not 10?
That's a good question. I think.
Or do you give ratings for anything at 10?
I do have. There's like I'd probably say there's like 8 to 10 movies that I consider a 10.
That's fair.
And they're very weird. Some of them make sense. Like I'd give Hereditary a 10.
Okay.
And then there's also like I think Casino Royale is my favorite movie of all time.
Casino Royale?
What's that about? It's the first James Bond with Daniel Craig.
Okay.
And now, it's like most people wouldn't say that.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan.
For me, it's interesting just because it's like the love story is very weird. Mm-hmm. It's very interesting. And then the action's great. Mm-hmm. And it's just a very intriguing story. Yeah. It's just there's casinos, poker, there's incredible action sequences, there's really good dialogue. Mm-hmm. You're genuinely wanting to know what happens next. Just a lot of cool moments.
Okay.
And then Baby Driver's up there.
So good. Yeah,
that's a 10 out of 10.
I love Baby. Nobody talks. I mean, people probably talk about it, but I haven't had many friends that talk about how good Baby Driver is, because I love that movie so much.
The idea behind it was so simple. That's what I think is cool.
It's music.
Yeah.
It's just his love for music, and family drama, yada yada yada. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. But still, it was so well put together. Mm-hmm. With the music and the visuals.
Well, you feel for him the entire movie.
You really do.
That's what's so cool about it.
It's like an hour 30-minute long hype video basically. Yeah, that's exactly. Just oh my gosh, I want to listen to tracks A B C D E F G, and then let's make a cool video about it.
Yeah,
and then that's the point, and they put a plot to it. That's Baby Driver.
Exactly.
That's really sick. And so you give that a 10.
Yeah,
I would agree with that. Yeah, that's also very fair. Yeah, so I think I would give Nope actually probably a 7 or an 8.
Okay.
Maybe because I was expecting something different. When somebody said that it was horror, I mean, it was Jordan Peele stuff. He's done Get Out. He's done Us before then. I mean, you had kind of more of a traditional horror aspect to it. And this one had more of a mystery to it, I would say. But I think the only reason why I would give it a 7 would be because I just expected something else. But the fact that it was still good, it was still action-packed. Yeah. There was still a plot. Mm-hmm. It was still what's in the clouds? We don't know. Yeah. No spoilers. It was just a good movie. And so just figuring out how all of that stuff unfolded and seeing how the characters interacted with each other, the sibling duo dynamic was fantastic. I think that was really good. Omar Apollo as the little the whatchamacallit, the tech guy.
Oh, he was great.
He was great. He was really good. And just the cinematographer guy too as well. Yeah. That was, the characters were great, acting was great, storytelling was great. CGI was of course great. I mean, not much to it. I just realized it's the same guy. Have you seen Beef on Netflix?
No.
I think the same guy who was acting in Beef is the same guy who was also in Nope.
Okay.
So the cowboy guy.
Oh yeah.
I would recommend for everybody who has not seen Beef, watch it on Netflix, especially if you have not seen it. It's the premise is basically two different people who just live two different lives, but they just have anger issues essentially, and you just kind of see how both of their lives are pretty parallel, even though they're really different, and they kind of butt heads with each other through a road rage incident. It starts like that, and they have beef from there, and they just move on. And then it just keeps escalating, and it's just more petty, and then it just gets crazy at the end.
That's
it gets
cool.
so crazy. Like I could not imagine what happened in the next episodes because it just kept getting crazier and crazier and crazier because they just built the beef on top of each other. So
that's interesting.
I would recommend watching that if possible.
Okay.
But next, I kind of want to move to Midsummer if you can. Yeah. So what would you rate that, just to start, I guess, for this one out of 10, and kind of go into why you liked it or why you didn't like it?
I'd say a 7.
Okay.
Which is kind of low, and I understand that some people would consider it to be better.
Right.
My viewpoint on it is there's a lot about it that's really neat, and the fact that in the first scene you can see the whole movie is shown to you in the first scene. Yeah. On that whatever, or not the first scene.
That's so true. I forgot about that. Because the breakdown videos, you can really go through that again. Yeah.
And it's really interesting, and I think it's really well made, but the thing is, it's I was never, after seeing it once, there's a lot of horror movies where it's every time you watch it's going to be scary.
Yeah.
Right? For me, it was I was expecting it to be scary the entire time. So that first time watching it, it was a different experience. Because you're something's going to happen, something's going to happen.
Right.
And then nothing really happens.
No.
And that's that was kind of my issue with it is I think the ending's very interesting and how she chooses the cult.
Yeah.
But sorry.
No, you're good.
But I think it's there's something about it where I don't know, it's nothing, there's never a moment where I was genuinely terrified.
Mm-hmm.
It slowly, and same with Nope, but Nope I felt I was more invested in just the story. The whole thing with Midsummer is I'm expecting something to happen.
Right.
And that's how I felt in Hereditary. It's you keep it builds.
Right. And
I feel Midsummer, it just builds to nothing.
Right.
And that's why it's really well made. And I like what he what's the guy's name?
The director? Or I have no idea.
Yeah, but whoever, it's the same guy. Yeah, Hereditary guy.
Yeah.
But
it's the same guy.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay.
But so that's what I'm saying. I came in expecting another cult Hereditary movie.
Right.
And
it was another cult.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and it was
just in a different way.
Yeah, and I think it was just I don't know, it's well made. The story makes sense. It's very there's some cool themes involved, but overall it's it just, I never felt scared, surprised. Everything made sense to me.
Yeah.
And I didn't expect that from him.
Yeah.
Or from that that same director.
Yeah.
After Hereditary, there were scenes where you're oh my god. So
it was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I would say first off, shout out to A24 because that was both Hereditary and Midsummer.
Okay.
Those are both A24 and Beef.
Gotcha.
Also A24. And Everything Everywhere All at Once. Also watch that. It's a great movie.
I haven't seen that.
You need to watch it.
My parents
you
said
need to watch it.
My parents said they watched 10 minutes and hated it.
It's because it's not traditional at all.
That's what that makes
same
sense.
thing. It's just it goes everywhere.
Yeah.
No pun intended. But it's,
all at once.
Aha, you're so funny. Because that's the whole point. I want to talk about this first, and I'll go back to Midsummer. But the movie is split up into three different cores. I had to count that myself. But the first core is everything. Second core, everywhere. Third core, all at once. So it talks about the progression of a relationship between a mother and a daughter, and it kind of dramatizes how their relationship was kind of falling apart over the years, and it just kind of ties in supernatural, extraterrestrial, different magic powers and stuff like that. And so the first part is everything's going on, and then the second part, not to really spoil it, is just everywhere, as in different things kind of happen, and then all at once is just when everything just kind of comes back together. And I like the ending, in my opinion. It kind of has some sort of tie, I think, to like generational issues with like I think with like Asian American people with like pressures from parents and stuff like that. I'm not really too adept or knowledgeable with all that, but like I think it really did a good job of kind of tying together the whole plot of the movie, and I think it was just really well made as a whole. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But going back to Midsummer, I agree. I would probably, you said 7. I would say 8. I think we're going to switch with our no ratings, whatever. Because not a 10, because I rarely give stuff 10s, and I think that I don't know what else I could change for it, but I don't think I would give it a 10 still. But like, I agree, nothing really happened. Yeah. There, of course, like she chooses the cold.
Well, stuff happens,
and,
but yeah.
Yeah, but like it's a slow burn, and it's similar. I mean, Hereditary was a slow burn, and it was like okay,
but it turned into a fire,
crazy, like last 10 minutes, right? Like because Hereditary, I think it's like it was just depressing for 75% of it, and then the last 25% was actually just like horror, like with the mom like crawling up the walls and like, ugh. Like it was crazy, right? And then like the hell payment scene at the end where everybody's headless, and then you realize that she's the next like arbiter of payments, whatever, right? And so with Hereditary, I feel like it was also a slow burn thriller more than a horror, like a mind turning thriller, because I think
you're talking about Hereditary or Midsummer?
Midsummer.
Okay.
Did I say Hereditary?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, Midsummer. So with Midsummer, I think because that one's more like mind-bending in my opinion because of the visuals, I would say, with like the psychedelics that they were using wherever in Sweden, Switzerland.
Yeah, one too.
Middle of nowhere, right? Mm-hmm. And in the cults and stuff like that, when they kind of had those scenes and where it talked about her past and the whole thing with like the tube and her parents and how they committed suicide like that, and that was crazy. Yeah. And her dealing with that. Screw the boyfriend. Boyfriend is terrible. Yeah. I hated him. Of course, they made you hate the boyfriend and stuff like that. And then from there, just kind of going on the weird visuals with the guy dropping once they get to that age or whatever, and kind of seeing how the plot unfolds and like as the audience being able to like understand exactly what they meant at certain times. Midsummer is a really good movie to watch again and again, to go back and realize how much connections that you have.
That's true.
Things.
Yeah.
And I think that's one reason why I would kind of give it a higher rating than like a 5 or 6, because really, plot-wise, they go there, and then everybody gets killed besides the main character. Yeah. And then she becomes the leader of the cult. Yeah. And that's the whole point. Yeah. And they knew that from the beginning. Yeah. And like that's it. Yeah. But like when you realize it and you go back, you're like, oh my gosh, you could have pointed out here on the walls in like the in the shared common sleeping area, whatever, they had like whole different rituals that they had, like they put the pubic hairs in the stuff, and they did the weird things with the what's it called, aphrodisiac with the guy, and
there's a lot. It's a lot.
That was a lot, but like it was just so well built in with the story and the visuals. I think that it really it gave it a really good rating. So that's one of the reasons why I would give it an 8. Yeah, I would say. Do you know any other A24 films that you're actually really a fan of? Or do you not really follow the studio that well?
I normally don't follow studios. And I know I've seen other ones because I know I can picture the like logo thing in my head.
Right.
But I can't think of any others off the top of my head.
Those are really the only top 2 that I know, I think. Because I know The Whale came out recently. I wanted to watch that with a friend. I have not watched it yet, but I heard that one was good. And like Pearl, the Pearl something. There was actually a TikTok audio from it too, as well. I don't know if you're not on TikTok, but that was a big thing for a while. And those are the 2 recent ones, I think. And I think they're coming out with some new stuff. But I think Beef was their first TV show.
Gotcha.
I'm not sure. Because I was watching this video on YouTube. Actually, this is going to become an A24 little history lesson. But they started out as like a company that bought like indie movies.
Gotcha.
And so they weren't actually making their own initially. This was like early 2010s or so. And then once they started to switch into making their own movies, that's when they started to kind of develop the A24 look, I guess. And it didn't really get too popular. It got popular with Midsummer and Hereditary, and those are pretty big. It got some recognition before with some previous movies. I haven't seen all of those, but I think those were the 2 big ones. And then Everything Everywhere All at Once was also pretty huge for that. So now they're kind of known as like the indie like
they're like
movie.
indie into the mainstream.
Yeah,
it's kind of the way
mainstream.
Yeah,
I guess. Yeah, I agree. But before then, they just they made some movies and stuff like that, but they still kind of purchased some stuff. But they roll out a lot of movies, like a lot, especially compared. There's the videos talking about this compared to like Sony and some of the bigger Sony production studio technically.
I think so.
Okay, and like some of the other bigger like well-known,
at least animation wise,
animation and other kind of huge production studios, they may come out with like 2 or 3 movies a year or every 2 years or so. But like A24 will either purchase or come out with like maybe 10.
That's interesting,
which is crazy. But I think it's just like it just kind of brings a new dynamic to how people, or how production studios kind of approach the film studio or the film genre, I guess, and all that. But
yeah,
I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is neat. Yeah.
I don't know. Is there any film studios that you really kind of attach yourself to? Because I don't know why that's like A24 is my thing. I
don't know. Like the only like I don't really. I feel like I don't like. I focus more on directors. And like, but I will say like there's certain ones like I remember because of like it being connected to a movie. Like the old. I think it was Paramount with the Angel thing. The Angel. Or like it's like the. Is it Paramount? I think
whatever that is. Yeah.
But I have that was the Spider-Man. The like Tobey Maguire Spider-Man had that, and I remember like watching that, and it goes from that to the, the Spider-Man theme, and like so I remember that one like pretty vividly, and then I was terrified.
It is Paramount. Yeah.
Well, this isn't a studio. This is just off topic, but there was a like. Before a lot of movies, like when they were really starting to focus on sound, they had this thing. I think it was like THX or something like that. It was something like that.
Yeah.
But the whole idea was there was this little robot, and he like fixed it, and it would go.
Yes, I know exactly.
So when I was little, I was terrified of loud sounds. So that like if any movie had that on the box, I wouldn't watch it.
Really?
Yeah, because it was so loud.
That's actually so funny.
Like if someone closed the fridge loud, I'd cry.
Really? So
I was young.
Okay.
This wasn't like last week.
Maybe. Sure.
Yeah. I mean,
let's double check on that. Actually, yeah. That's crazy. Oh my gosh. So I'm thinking The Incredibles, I think, was one of them. Or was that?
There was a lot of animated movies.
And then I'm trying to, because like I'm remembering, I was actually just going back.
Like Pixar.
I was going back through some old like random boxes at my house, right? That's where I found the old records, and that's where I found the camera and stuff like that. But I remembered on car trips, my family used to have these like flip out like CD, like portable CD players or DVD players. Did you have those ever? Like the ones that you could like you have it and like
I lived off those.
And like that, I forgot it. That was a thing. I grew up on those. Yeah. And I realized like
I grew up on DVDs mostly because we didn't have Wi-Fi. So like when most people made the switch to streaming, like I couldn't. So like I feel like with me, it's like I have a huge DVD collection just because most people I feel like after like 2015, most people don't have like DVDs of movies now.
Not really.
And I have movies up until like 2020 on DVD, and it's really like, and it's like because that's what I did.
Right.
I couldn't stream things, so when I would do homework in like middle school and like freshman year of high school, I just turn on a movie on DVD and do the homework.
Like your online homework, how'd you do that?
Oh well, we had to move for COVID, kind of.
Oh, okay.
So where we got Wi-Fi.
Yeah, that is crazy. Oh my gosh, because I think the last movie, like the last DVD that my family's purchased was the first Avengers. I think so.
Gotcha.
And that was 2013?
Yeah, I think so.
That was 10 years ago.
Oh, it's weird how long ago Iron Man was.
Oh my gosh, because Iron Man was
2008.
Wow.
Something like that.
That's crazy. That's like, what, 15 years?
Well, I have a vivid memory of going to Best Buy to buy Iron Man on DVD.
Really?
And I was really young, but I remember it. I remember how Best Buy smelled. I remember
as you should. As you should. It was an iconic movie.
Yeah.
And on that note as well, I'm so embarrassed to say this, but I just watched the first Spider-Man.
Oh, you said that. Yeah, you told me that.
The the Tobey Maguire movies. I haven't finished watching them yet because I'm still. That was like last week. Because I had watched all of the. I do have something I really want to talk about actually now. I watched some of the. I watched all the Tom Holland ones because those were already within
part of
the MCU,
yeah.
Right? But so NPR has this podcast called Planet Money, and they talk about everything money related, right? And they had an episode recently. They aired it recently again, talking about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, but referencing. It was rerun from the old relatively old, the most recent Tom Holland Spider-Man. It was Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah.
So they were talking about the differences on just essentially the history of like the Sony Marvel beef that they had. And I had no idea. Did you know this story?
Well, I know that's why like they couldn't have Spider-Man in the MCU for a long time.
Right. It's like I just didn't know that was a thing. I think because I joined the Marvel like fan base or whatever when they started coming out with MCU stuff pretty much after the first Avengers movie and on. But then I didn't really like, it took me a while to go back and watch the first Captain America movies, like the first Iron Man movies, I don't think I watched the Hulks, but like the Thor movies and stuff like that. I never really got into that until afterwards, and I didn't watch any of the Spider-Man things beforehand.
Yeah.
And sad to say it, but you know, it's just whatever. Do you think that you enjoyed those pretty much the same that you've enjoyed the Tom Holland movies?
I think it's all about age there. Mm-hmm. Like for me, it was like I enjoyed watching when I'd watch the like Tobey Maguire ones, I enjoyed watching Spider-Man suit up and like fight. I thought it was so cool. Like, and like I remember like everyone considers Spider-Man 3 to be by far the worst because Spider-Man 2 was considered one of the best superhero movies of all time.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
that's the Tobey Maguire.
Tobey Maguire. Yeah, and it's with Doc Ock.
Netflix, right? Okay, I need to watch that one.
Yeah, but this third one's like the one with the dancing and all the funny scenes.
Yeah.
There's like 4 villains.
Yeah.
But I remember that's the one I watched the most because I just skipped to the end and watched the final fight scene.
Okay.
I thought it was so cool.
Yeah.
So it's like a different experience. So I think I enjoyed it the same.
Right.
But I didn't really appreciate I didn't realize it was a bad movie.
That's true because like
it's hard to tell when you're that
10,
age. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I was younger. It's like probably. The
6...
first one came out in 2000.
It was that
2001, something like that.
Oh my gosh.
I think.
I had no idea.
2002. It's early 2000s.
Because that's 20 years ago.
That's weird.
That's 20 years ago.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Oh my gosh.
I mean, I think they've had time for 3 franchises.
That is also very true. That does take a long time.
Yeah.
Do you think that, or which one do you think is your favorite Spider-Man out of the 3?
Oof. Tom Holland's the most comic book accurate.
Right.
But I think, like, Andrew Garfield was my favorite, but he's way too cool to be
cool.
Like he's like a skater. Like Spider-Man's like a nerd.
Right.
Like, like it's like you gotta have like it's just not true to the comics at all. Like he's like skateboarding in the high school. He's like a bad boy. Like that's not who he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like he's smart. But like that's it. That's the only similarity he has.
Right.
And then Tobey Maguire, it's just something about his age. He's too old. Like he just seems like I don't know. And then there's just like there's a lot of like cheesiness to those first movies, and that's what made them cool. It's like very like they're almost more comic book like because they're so like it seems like you're watching a comic book. Like they're like the scenes like it's like he says something. It's like I don't want to be you, Flash, and Flash I don't want to be me neither. Like it's just stuff like that, and you're like what?
Yeah.
But it's like there's a bit of like it's more like a comic book, Like it's like fun.
Yeah.
And I think that's like. But it's just Tobey Maguire. Tobey Maguire's like it's like heartfelt. He's the original, but I think he's the worst.
Right.
Andrew Garfield's just too cool.
He's too cool, but he was a good actor.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like you like him.
Right.
You root for him.
Right.
But then Tom Holland's just like he's young. He acts like Spider-Man. He's nervous all the time. It's much more like the comics.
Yeah. And he's just like a higher voice. He just seems a little more pipsqueaky. I mean, until he takes his shirt off and he's like.
Yeah, but I mean that's how he should. That's how like Spider-Man should be played. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Do you think that Miles Morales can be compared to those 3, like at all?
In what
terms
way?
Of just like how the character fits into the story, just like as Spider-Man in general. And do you know the reason why they created the animated Spider-Man movies? Like, do you know like the specifics of the history behind that?
I don't know the specifics of the history, no.
I do kind of want to go into that.
Okay.
I think that's such a cool story. I was listening to this and I was so enthralled in the car when I was actually figuring it out. So I'll just start from how much time we have left. Okay, I got 5 minutes to explain the entirety of this before my camera starts to actually. Well, it's not gonna die, but it's gonna like stop, and I'm just gonna redo it. So I'm gonna put myself on a little 5-minute time. So. Because it's just going to stop recording.
Can I do something real quick?
Yes, go ahead.
Are there any babies watching? If so, pay attention really close. Okay, now we can go.
You just wanted to do it for no reason. Why are you trying to scare them? I'm sorry for all the fathers and mothers who just had to see that. For some reason, if you're watching this with your babies, there's Jackson for you, I guess. For no reason. There was no reason to do that.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I don't think that's really hard to follow now. Yeah. That's so okay. So go back. Okay, I'm sorry. That was too funny. Okay, so going back to the Planet Money podcast, basically. So that they're kind of check out Planet Money if you guys.
What were they talking about earlier? What were you saying they were talking about earlier?
Yeah. So they're just talking about the story of the Marvel and Sony.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
Right? So it's called The Spider-Man Problem is what the episode's called.
Okay.
They said it was like came out like a month ago, like May 2023-ish, right? So to kind of sum it up, I don't really know all the specifics. I don't remember names and stuff like that. But basically they were talking about how Marvel, we know Marvel now as Marvel Studios, but Marvel has always been Marvel Comics, of course, since, I don't know, when do you know, you're more of a comics guy.
It's been a long time.
Okay, but like
I do know this, I'll say what I know.
Yeah.
I do know that Marvel went through like a really tough time.
They did.
And like they were almost bankrupt.
Yeah.
And they had to like sell off a lot of stuff. And I do know that.
And that's where the problem starts.
Okay.
So I think this is like
because doesn't Fox have X-Men?
Yes. So it's like 80s, 90s, something like that. So Marvel, most people now know Marvel as Marvel Studios, but they're of course they're known as Marvel Comics.
Yeah.
They happen, right? And so when they were just known as Marvel Comics then, so that's like they made very, 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 very famous, very, very like well-known comics, right? And of course like Spider-Man and like Iron Man and now Captain America and like X-Men and stuff like that, right? So those were like huge comic stuff, right? But I think this was like 90s or so. I'm not really sure when they started to make the first movies, but they started to sell, since they were just like a comic studio, they just, or whatever they were calling it, they started to sell a lot of their characters to certain like production companies to start to make movies off of them, right? So Marvel was going to get a cut from, like a certain cut from the movie franchise, from however much the movie makes, but then also they were going to make a lot of their money with selling like the figurines and stuff like that, right? And just like it'll give publicity to their comics themselves. Yeah. So they were having a tough time. I don't know if that was the reason why they started to sell it out, or if they just wanted to do that in the first place. Don't remember, right? But they wanted to sell out their characters, so they, like you said, they sold like X-Men to Fox. They sold Spider-Man to Sony.
And those are arguably two of their at the time they were their two biggest.
Exactly, and at the time it was their two biggest. Yeah. Exactly. So that was one of the reasons why they picked those two.
Gotcha.
And at the time, Captain America and Iron Man, bench warmer superheroes. Nobody knew about them. I mean, the comics existed, of course, but nobody knew about them, right? So they started to do. They contracted out all the stuff, right? But one of the specific things in the contracts that they talk about in the podcast was really cool, was that in order for Sony to keep, we're going to just be talking about Sony at this point, Sony and Marvel, in order for Sony to keep the rights to make movies for Spider-Man, of course, like Marvel just got a cut for certain things, right? But Marvel had nothing to do with the actual movie process. Mm-hmm. But Sony was required to make a Spider-Man movie every 5 Jackson's stupid joke made me not match my 5-minute time. So that's the problem with that. Also, for my audio self right now, I'm gonna have to match this audio with the camera now, so it's a little off by like 1 second, but it's okay. We'll figure it out. It's fine. So going back to the history, so we were talking about like it's like late 90s, early 2000s or so, right? The key thing that I got from the podcast was the fact that Sony has to make like a Spider-Man movie every 5 years in order to keep the rights to Spider-Man. My guess is so Marvel can continue, like, so Sony can't just like sit on the contract of Spider-Man and only make like Spider-Man movies every like 10 years when Marvel wants to still like make money from like the figurines and stuff like that. That was crazy smart in my opinion, because that was the big thing. That's the reason why we've had 3 different generations of Spider-Man, right? So they start to like they license out to Sony. Sony makes the first Spider-Man movie. I don't remember when. I'm going to put it in like right there when the first Spider-Man was made. And I like once Once
You can make it right, eat it, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'll do that. Yes, and I'm going to test my editing skills actually, because I have no idea how to do it. But we're going to figure it out. So great, you just saw it. I don't know exactly what is going on, but you saw it, right? It was great. But for Sony, they made the first Spider-Man movie, and that was the first Tobey Maguire movie, and that was a hit. Everybody loved it, of course, because Spider-Man was such a huge comic book person, right? Or a comic book character. And so once Marvel saw how well they did, and I mean, I think it did pretty well too with the second movie as well. Mm-hmm. They were like,
the second one's considered, like I said,
it was even better, right? Mm-hmm. So Marvel was like, oh my gosh. I mean, of course, Spider-Man's still our character, but Sony is making so much money from it.
That's interesting.
So they were like, I mean, like, we gave it to you. Yeah. We gave you Spider-Man, but like, what if we like got it back?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so that's where the beef started, and that was the issue. And so they kind of they kind of went back and forth for a while. They tried to do some negotiations, I think. I don't really remember all the specifics, but long story short, it didn't work well, right?
Yeah.
And so they kind of had a falling out for a while, and they were like, okay, Sony still needed to make a bunch of the movies, right? But like the issue was, so Tobey Maguire only had 2 movies, right? If that was the case, then this
3.
He had 3. Okay, then it kind of connects. So he had his 3 movies, and they were great, but the third one, of course, didn't do as well as the second one, right? And so they were like,
the third one was bad. It did okay at the box office.
Okay, and so with that, who's the second guy? I forgot.
Andrew Garfield,
right? So with Andrew Garfield, the first Andrew Garfield movie I remember hearing, I don't remember if I've seen it or not, but it was basically an exact copy of the first Spider-Man movies, right? Because everybody's like, okay, this is the 4th Spider-Man movie in however many years, right? We don't really know how like different this is, right? Yeah. And the Andrew Garfield movies, this is like late 2000s at this point, right? At this point in time, Marvel's already started to create their own cinematic universe. So that's when Iron Man's coming out. That's when Hulk is coming out. That's when Thor's coming out, Captain America, and so on and so forth. And so Marvel's movies are starting to do a lot better at this point. So now Marvel is coming back to Sony, and Marvel's like, hey, Sony, you're not really doing as well as you were with these movies. And that's why Andrew Garfield only had 2, was because they were like, oh my gosh, this isn't really doing too hot. And then they ended up kind of coming up with the deal, terrible deal for Marvel, but crazy deal for Sony, where Marvel was going to help out with the creative process with the movie making when it comes to movies, because they were kind of building the Avengers in at this point, right? This is like...
Well, if I'm remembering correctly, mm-hmm. Tom Holland's first movie is Civil War.
Tom Holland's first movie is Civil War.
And that was right after Age of Ultron.
Yes.
So it's still pretty early.
So this is still pretty early in the MCU, right? This is 5 or so years pre-Endgame.
It's pre-Doctor Strange, I think. Around the same time as Doctor Strange.
Like a year or 2 before, I think, because this is phase 2. This is phase 3? Early phase 3, mm-hmm. I think, right? And so at this point, like, Marvel's kind of making a name for themselves. And so they're like, okay, we're going to help you out. You're still going to keep like 95% of everything else, but we just want to have Spider-Man in our universe now, because they're like the only, like they built up characters that were not really popular in the comics mm-hmm. before into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And they're like, all we need is Spider-Man, but they can't get Spider-Man because Sony is still making the Andrew Garfield movies. So like, how do we do this, right? So they work together, and then that's how Spider-Man can finally get into Civil War.
Gotcha.
So when he's built into that, that's when they started to actually make him more in the MCU, and that's when Tom Holland's Spider-Man is born. And I think in the podcast they call it like the like not liked stepchild or something like that, because it's like, oh my gosh, all the parents are arguing and stuff like that, and then boom, that's how Tom Holland is born. Basically, that's how that Spider-Man is born. And then from there, he continues in the MCU, yada, yada, all that. That's great. Still going great. But Sony still wants to keep the contract. So what did they do? Into the Spider-Verse.
That's interesting. Okay.
So that was one of the reasons why they have Into the Spider-Verse. But the issue here, the reason why it's such a unique story regarding Miles Morales, is because of the fact that they needed to create a story only having the licenses of Spider-Man's character, Spider-Man's villains, and the other Spider-Man in the comics. The other versions of Spider-Man in the comics. Yeah. So how do you create a story with just Spider-Man?
That's different than what you've already done.
That's different than what they've already done for the previous 4 or 5 Spider-Man movies. they create a multiverse.
That's awesome. Yeah.
That blew my mind.
It makes sense.
That blew
But yeah,
my
it is,
mind.
yeah, that's crazy.
Like, I think that was one of the coolest podcast episodes that I've listened to, because I was like, that's crazy that they were able to kind of, open their minds and like just switch the ingenuity to be like, okay, we only have the licenses to these characters. How do we make a good profit out of that? Enter Sony Animation Studios.
Yeah.
Into the Spider-Verse, across the Spider-Verse, beyond the Spider-Verse. It's gonna be so good. Oh my gosh!
Did you go in knowing it was gonna be?
I didn't know that it was gonna be part one.
Either.
I didn't know either because I didn't watch the trailers.
Yeah, I didn't know.
It was crazy. Oh, it was so cool.
Yeah.
I want to hear your thoughts. I've been talking about the history for a while, so you go.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think it. I don't know if it's better than the first one. I think they're about equal for me.
Really?
I think the first one was very. I think don't get me wrong. Both incredible.
Yes.
Like, I mean, obviously, and I think that, like, for me, the second one, it's like, I think once we have the ending, it'll be even better. Yeah. I think once we know what happens, because the first one was such a good plot to where, like, when he jumps off that building, you feel,
what's up, danger?
you feel so excited. Yeah. And I think we still have that to come in the third film. Right. That was built off the second film. Right. And I think so once we have that, I think I'll appreciate the second one more than the first one.
I agree.
But I think it was a great idea. I think there's just a lot of like the part where, like, you think that, like, he thinks he's telling his parents he's Spider-Man, but he's not.
That was crazy.
And that's awesome. Like, it's just really well written. It's just like
Earth 42 or whatever. Was that?
Yeah. Right. And like the ending with, like, him, like, his other self being the Prowler.
That was so.
It was just it makes you, it's very exciting. Like, because once we see the second one, like, I genuinely don't know what's gonna happen.
I don't either. I think I would equate this definitely to, like, the first Dune movie, and I think this is also the first time that I felt, I don't want to be super dramatic, but, like, I felt so, like, speechless or confused as to what's going to happen as, like, Infinity War and the first Dune movie, in my opinion. I think it's definitely the same level of, like, this whole movie, the entire thing was built up for the second one. Yeah. 100%. And it's just, like, when you realize, I agree, because, like, you just don't know how well the second one's going to be, so you can't put it at, like, such a high range, because if the second one isn't good, then it's not
in my opinion, like, what's cool to me is that, like, there's no, like the reason, like, Infinity War and, like, Across Spider-Verse are so good to me, and even though their sole purpose is to set up the next one, right? What makes them so good is you don't know, right? So that's why the Avengers, they lose at the end. You're like, oh, so this is gonna have to go to another one. Yeah. Like, you don't know. In this one, like, I didn't know. It's like, I was like, what? How? I got to a point where it was like, there was like, I'd been watching a while, and I was like, how is all this gonna, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm like, it has to end soon.
That's true.
So, like, it's like, there's something about that where it's like if you go in not knowing it's gonna, like, just set up the next one. Because, like, Infinity War, like, every part of you is expecting them to win. Right. And then when they don't, you're like, oh.
That's a good point. I didn't think about it like that. Because, like, at the end of, that is fair. At the end of Across the Spider-Verse, you realize that, like, there's no dead end of, like, oh my gosh, they're about to win, they don't win. Yeah. It's just like a build.
That's why I think the third one's so important to me.
That's fair.
And I in Infinity War, it's like Thor almost kills him. Like, you really think, like, it's coming down to the wire. Yeah. And, like, but then it's just like that too. Right. And you're like, oh wait, what? You know, and it's like, I don't know. I remember the feeling of, like, amazement when, like, it ends with just Thanos, like, looking out. I mean, I don't know. It was but I think, but that's the thing is, like, I think that if this third Spider-Man movie is really good, it'll make the second one even better.
I agree.
Because once you have both, it's like, because pretty much what they've done, they've made this was, like, all, like, for 1.5 acts. Yeah. It's pretty much what they did.
Pretty much. I agree.
We're building to the end still.
I'm really excited the fact that they're only waiting a year to release the second one, though. But I think, because the last one was in 2018, right? So, I mean, it's taken like 5 years or so to do that. So I think it's really good, the fact that they don't have to wait another 5 years as well.
Yeah, I think they just made it. I think they made both. That's my guess. Yeah. And they just split it.
And, get to add some suspense and a little something like that. Yeah. And question, because I do want to kind of also transition in music as well. How do you think that the soundtracks for these two were different? Did you like one better? Because I think that like Sunflower, of course, was iconic.
Yeah.
Like
it's one of the top 10. I saw this. It's like top 10 most streamed songs
of all time.
Mm.
Really good for Posty.
Yeah.
And Sway Lee. Right?
He has 2. He has Rockstar too.
Rockstar's up there. I thought Congratulations would beat Rockstar. No. Really.
It's crazy.
That is crazy. Oh my gosh. So we had Sunflower, and we had. Did we have anything else from that movie?
There was a lot of. There was an what's the. Scared of the Dark, which has X and Lil Wayne. Rest in peace, X. Yeah. But and then. I think of what you've definitely heard that one.
I probably have. Let me pull it up right now. Let me see. Scared in the Dark.
Scared of the Dark.
Scared of the Dark. There we go.
And what's that thing?
Yeah, I do remember this one.
There's a few other ones too, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, yeah.
But I mean, so like artist-wise, like the first one had some great artists on it. Vince Staples is on it, I know. But I think but the thing is that I thought's interesting is I don't know if all of them are, but nearly all those songs are actually in the movie.
Yeah.
Metro Boomin, it's like he made an album and some of it's in the movie.
That's true.
But not all of it is. It's a much better album.
Yeah.
Like it's a good album. Like he doesn't miss.
But tied with the movie, it's not.
It's not the same. Like it's like there's like it's interesting. It's like there's like it's almost like the album was made after the movie, rather than for the movie. Like there's there's parts where like the features on that new one's crazy, but like there's a Don Toliver like song on there where it ends with like a sample from the movie. You know, it's like I'm going home. You know, and like it's just
they were going into the lobby.
That's another one. Yeah, it's like this is the lobby or whatever. Yeah, and it's like that's not what happens in the movie. Like you don't hear the song and then that happens in the movie.
Actually.
It's just sampled.
I didn't know
Which is really interesting. There are some songs that are like the first song. I forget what it's called. It's the one with Sway Lee, Lil Wayne, and...
Is it Annihilate? Is that the one?
Yeah. And is it Offset?
Let's see. Cross. Spider-Verse. Sway Lee, Lil Wayne, and Offset. Yeah, Metro Boomin. Look at you. Yeah. It's good. Yeah, stream-wise, that's top right. No, Calling is the top.
Yeah.
87. And that's that's the one that when he was like.
Yeah, so some of them there, it's like some of them, and like it's just interesting. Like there was a whole like promotional video with like listening to the Don Toliver song. Let's see which one that one is. Hummingbird's in it. Hummingbird is in it. There's a whole Don Toliver song about like Nas Morales is not in the film.
Yeah.
But where's the one I'm thinking of?
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. Crap. Link Up. Link Up is not in the movie, but before the movie came out, there was like a promotional video of like them, like he's swinging and he hears it in the car. And he's like, "That's a cool song."
Yeah.
Like that's not in the movie.
Yeah. Like that's there's no point of that.
Yeah.
Question for you too. Do you think that, or what do you think is kind of the most influential like album movie collab? Because the thing that I'm thinking about is Black Panther first movie, and
that's the best probably. I mean, Kendrick is Kendrick,
right?
Like I mean, like Metro Boomin, Metro Boomin doesn't miss either. That's fair, but like
because we've got All the Stars with Kendrick and SZA, we've got The Ways with Khalid and Sway Lee. I mean, I was obsessed with this whole thing. You got King's Dead.
King's Dead was huge, yeah.
Pray for me. Weekend.
Big Shot's hilarious.
Big Shot was good. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's more of a new thing though. Like, most time, like.
Did that happen before Black Panther? Was that a thing?
Not really. I feel like most of the time it's like it's rare. Like it used to be like there's people that made scores and like they'd get songs, but like normally like maybe one song would be made for a film and the rest would be made like they just grabbed from the past.
Right.
So like yeah, I think Black Panther might have been the first that I can think of.
It was ingenious.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It was lovely.
Yeah.
Because it played in so well. I mean, and same thing in this album as well. They do kind of integrate it into the movie as well. Because I mean, some of these, it's not the extended soundtrack where it's like actually just like the background music by. Oh, I forgot the.
Ludwig?
Yes.
He did the Creed movies too.
Yes.
Creed movie soundtrack's pretty good.
He's such a good artist.
It's on Goranson or something like that. It's
Gore. Yes. Yeah, like the extended one.
But the Creed movies, I will say, I think they.
Oh, and he made Mandalorian too.
Creed might have come out first, I think, and there's some movies there's a lot of songs on that's the second one.
Okay.
There's songs that came out for that movie.
Okay. But
there's also songs that came out beforehand, I think. But
I think that's
they play a future song in that movie. But that was like the comma song.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah,
it's such a cool and I guess quote unquote novel idea of just like having one artist be like the director of like an album that is just so well tied into something.
Yeah,
and I think that's really cool. It is really cool. Do you think that that's going to be something that could happen a lot in the future?
I think so. I think more artists now that Kendrick and Metro is probably the most prolific producer of the past, like straight up producer of the past 10 years.
What? Oh,
you go ahead.
What are your thoughts on the heroes versus villains?
Did you not like it?
Like the first 3 songs are fine, but I mean maybe just
I'm obsessed with it.
I'm not a huge I used to be really into like 2016, 2017 rap. I started my music taste has kind of gone more towards alternative hip hop, R&B, and jazz. Yeah. So
I mean, for me, I listen to like a wide ranging amount of stuff, but like for people that like Weeknd, Travis, Don Toliver, all in my top 3, top 5.
Okay.
So if you add up all their features, it's like 9 songs are theirs. And so like
in the which one? The
Heroes and Villains.
Okay.
And I really like the original. He doesn't miss.
Right.
Like there's I'm trying to think. So there was Without Warning, which is the one with there's Savage Mode 1, which it's very like different, but it's good.
Right.
Then there's the first. I think Without Warning was next. The Nav one's not that good because I don't like Nav.
Right.
But it's not Metro's fault. But then there's the Without Warning, which is really it's like horror themed. Like it's very like interesting.
I like it was Morgan Freeman who did the.
That was Savage Mode 2. So that was.
Oh, so this is 21. Is that 21? Wait, hold on.
So there's Savage Mode 1, which is Metro and 21.
Okay.
Then there's the Nav one at some point. Then there's Then there's next was Without Warning, which is 21 and Offset are both on it.
And these are songs on Heroes and Villains.
No, right? These are the Metro albums.
These are Metro albums. Wait, so Metro did 21. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait. 21.
Like a lot of 21 Savage songs are.
So Metro. Metro's on the thing. I never saw that. I didn't know that he was the producer.
Yeah, so Savage Mode 1's Metro, and then after Savage Mode 1, Without Warning, was 21 Offset, and then he made that Not All Heroes Wear Capes, and I love that album the second it came out. There's some really good songs on there.
Sounds very good. Overdue's on there. Yeah.
And then let's see,
Space Cadet's on here. Wow.
Yeah, there were a lot of
10 Figure Girls is fine, but
I will say this album's not as flawless in my opinion. But the new Heroes versus Villains is very. I don't know. Or Heroes and whatever. Was it?
Heroes and Villains, I think. Yeah. I don't know.
But there's like it's just so well produced.
Right.
It's very it was a genuine exciting listen from first song to last song.
Right.
So I thought it was cool.
Right.
And I understand it is if you're not a huge fan of that genre, I can get it because it all is similar in a way.
Yeah.
But I think it's just the idea of one producer just pulling together all these heroes.
Right.
This idea he's pulling together all these great huge people and getting them on one album.
That's fair.
And he's telling a story throughout the album. It's a very interesting thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's why that's why I liked it so much.
Fair. I should probably give it another listen, but because I some of them were really good, but I don't know if I had really listened to many of them again.
Yeah.
But I do want to go. I want to talk about her loss, and then I also want to talk about I Am Better Than I Was. Okay. Two completely different things, but that's just what's coming off the top of my head right now. Because when talking about 21, of course he had a huge influence on a good portion of. Was that his album or is that Drake's? Hold on.
Both.
Oh, they just did that together. Okay, yeah. So never mind. Yeah.
It's Drake's album though.
But
That's the way. Like that's one thing I will say. It's like, it's weird. It's almost weird that 21's in the title.
Yeah.
Like Drake it's his album.
Right.
It was his trilogy, you know, and like he just had 21 in a lot of the songs, but like there's a lot of songs on there where it's like 21 has like a chorus.
Right.
21 has one song by himself, and Drake has a multiple. And like a lot of it's just like it's like he's a 21's a feature artist, right, in a lot of respects. And I think like that's an example of that.
Right. That's fair. 21. I agree with that. Besides the "I'm Better Than I Was."
Oh yeah, that album's
that's
different.
The only one that I've seen him be like, "This is crazy." Because well, I mean, he had like a lot. Oh, that's actually about it.
No,
he
there's
had "Can't Leave Without It."
Monster's good. That's
Monster's
the one with Childish
pretty big.
Gambino was on that song.
"Ball Without You" is also big.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was obsessed with this album.
It's definitely like it was a little more like it's a little more R&B than his like normal like it's like Southern rap, and like he's normally not. He's like this was a very different like way, and like some of it it's definitely still in there.
Yeah,
but
that's crazy, because Break the Law. It sounds so weird when I say it, but Break the Law was it was good. It was fine, but like a lot was also really good. That's one of my favorites. Gunsmoke, for some reason, I really liked.
Well, I have a question for you.
A&T, not gonna lie, I liked it, but you go ahead with the question.
Yeah, well, I was just gonna say, like, what, like, if you had to pick like 3 albums,
like just top
albums,
right,
not like recently.
Right now?
I mean, just like in total.
Oh, but that's the thing. Okay, so here I gotta explain how I listen to music first, because I want to hear how you listen to music as well, because I think that has a really big influence on why I chose these albums. So I would say when I approach music, it's always, I was talking to one of my friends, Nick, about this. Like when I listen to a song, if it has lyrics in it, I listen to the lyrics as another instrument in the song, not as the lyrics themselves.
That's fair.
So I actually have like a lot of trouble when it comes to like wanting to listen to the lyrics of a song. I have to like literally focus on the lyrics if I want to actually hear them, and if I want to actually memorize them.
Especially with this type of music.
Yeah,
like it's like a lot like in like Don Toliver, especially like it's
that's
like
crazy.
You don't have to know what he's saying to enjoy the song.
I agree, but even when like with like more mainstream like Khalid or other, because he's gonna be on there. Like some of the other like bigger artists, they definitely like I would like Juice WRLD's Lucid Dreams was one of the first songs that I memorized the whole thing, because I had to sit down, go on my phone on the YouTube, like the Lucid Dreams lyrics video, and follow along like 30 times because I was like, I wanted to go out of my way to listen to that. But that's kind of how I approach it. And then with that, I mean, it doesn't really fully explain why I have my top 3, I would say, but
you're saying lyrics don't matter as much.
Lyrics don't matter as much when I listen to music.
That's fair. Okay.
And so I just typically go for production.
Yeah.
And then I also, when I listen to albums as a whole, 9 times out of 10, I favor ones that songs always bleed into the next one.
Oh yeah. Like, that's awesome. It's always cool.
Especially with, I mean, interludes and stuff like that. That's cool. But like, of course, like you'll understand this. Like when it tells a story, I'm not necessarily as worried about the story because I'm not listening to the lyrics.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
But it's more of when you can hear the congruent like thought process of like, okay, this song goes here, this song goes here, this song goes here, this song goes here. Because there are plenty of albums, of course, I'll pick here and there, get stuff like that. I don't know if I'm not being too original with this or not, but like when I listen to like I'm Better Than I Was, cool, I'll pick like great 5 songs out of it, right?
And some albums I think that's okay.
And right, but then when it comes to full albums, definitely the first one that comes to mind always is the first album that I would listen to top to bottom was Duckworth's Super Good album.
Okay.
I would say that's probably one of the main reasons why he's still my like top 3 artist of all time. Second, I would probably say one of Khalid's albums, but the fact that I can't name the album probably says enough.
Well, I think part of that though is just the way you listen.
Right.
Like I mean, if you're saying you go and you listen to like a bunch of songs over and over again, you're not gonna be focused on the album itself.
That's true. Let me see which one it would be then.
Just the one in the sand?
Not Sun City, no. No. I would say probably American Teen, because there was a point in time where I was, yep, American Teen, and then Sun City was fine. It was okay. Free Spirit was better, not the best. If we're talking about Khalid stuff, but I would say those two, and then American Teen, Duckworth's super good album, and maybe Igor.
Okay.
I would say, because Igor, I mean, Tyler, I love Tyler so much. Yeah. Oh my gosh, he's such a good artist. But I think I would put those two there. But the thing is that I also, I love Silk Sonic and I love Anderson .Paak. I don't know if I have a single album that I can listen to all the way through, but I think there are plenty, I have a lot of them that I'll listen to all but one or two. And that's the thing. So I probably wouldn't put, I think I would actually put An Evening with Silk Sonic as third. Okay. Because that definitely has the best kind of congruency of it picks some of my favorites from Anderson .Paak, but some of his other stuff like Oxnard or Malibu or I don't remember the other ones off the top of my head. Those are all really good. Yeah. But they're one or two. And I'm this is so corny, or this is I can't deal with this. So I would say those three. But recently, as a close honorable mention for number 4 has been Daniel Caesar's Never Enough album. That has been on straight repeat since the first day. Yeah. He's going to be my top artist of the year for sure, because I didn't necessarily listen to him until I got to college, and I've been obsessed with him ever since. Yeah. And he's on tour right now, but his concert dates are Tuesdays and Thursdays. Yeah. And I'm in school. So it kind of sucks. And he's going to Ohio actually, but it's going to be too much to travel and stuff like that. So I don't know. I would say that's my top 3 and then honorable mention. So yeah.
For me, I mean, I told you this earlier. After Hours is my one. It's there's a story in it. It's retro in a dark way. It was also just I'm personally not a huge fan of Dawn FM, just for the reason I like it, but I don't think it's compared to a lot of his other work.
This is the second in the trilogy, right?
Dawn FM is, yeah. Okay. And the third one still hasn't come out. Okay. But so I'm thinking, and then it's tough to decide. It's between first I would put one of them in there, and it's between Rodeo and Astroworld. Really? Yeah, and I think Rodeo
Lil Nas?
No, Rodeo Travis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wait, that's not an album though. That's just a song, right?
Rodeo?
Yeah.
No, Rodeo's an album.
Okay.
The song you're thinking of is Antidote. So Antidote's on Rodeo.
Okay.
Yeah. So Rodeo was his first studio album.
Okay.
And then Astroworld's his third. And I think Astroworld would be my favorite album if I would have actually listened to it all the way through when it came out. I was not into Travis at the time. I got into him a year later. Really? So it's interesting. I can't even imagine. That's why I'm so excited for Utopia. Is
and I'm actually out. Hold on.
They think 21st.
There we go.
They're thinking 21st. Okay. At least that's what the cryptic billboards they're thinking.
Right.
But I'm just saying I think that it's interesting that but Rodeo is the quintessential trap album. And there's 90210, Marie I'm Drunk. It's some incredible songs. So I'd probably
little the mini figure, right?
Yeah.
Rodeo. Yeah. Right. Whoa. This is a different.
He changed it.
He changed it.
They think you can change the album cover. Well, that was the original, and then the deluxe was what was on, and that's what the white one is that you're thinking of.
Right.
But I think they're thinking you changed it because the Utopia one will be white, so he wants to keep
I had no idea you can do that. I guess it's digital. I guess you can.
Yeah.
Do you have the physical copy? Because you said you have
my album. My vinyl is that, because that's the original. So the one that was on Spotify was the extended version, and that was the white one. But that's the one that's the original, and that's the one I have on vinyl.
I didn't know that. That's so cool. What vinyl player do you have, by the way?
It's a Marley.
Okay.
It's a Marley brand.
That's nice.
I don't know exactly what model or anything, but it does the job.
Right. That's good. Does it have speakers in it, or you connect
it has two connected Marley speakers that you can that you plug into it. That's it's right and left, so it's it works pretty well. It's pretty neat.
So sick. That is really, really cool.
Yeah.
So you said your top 3 albums.
I'd say Rodeo, After Hours, and then it's tough after that to where like, because like Don Toliver's probably my second favorite artist. I didn't love his last
recent?
album. What?
Is that recent? Like a recent change? Or
I think it's he's just built up on that. But like I'd say, I might, like why not? I'll put like Heaven and Hell. Those are like that's his first studio album.
Right.
In my opinion, he's gotten like his second one was still good. Love Sick was too pop for me, but I'd probably put that in my top 3. And it's favorite, not best.
Right.
You know, like because do I think Heaven and Hell is better than To the Butterfly? No, but like I'd rather like when like if I get in the car, I'd rather listen to Don Toliver.
Yeah.
And like it's like, but I know he couldn't like duel with Kendrick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like
you have different levels of respect.
Yeah.
You know.
Like it's like, but it's just so yeah. I'd put that there.
Okay.
And so yeah, do you want to go through our?
I do. We're gonna go through the stats for Spotify. Kind of going through last. I say we stick with top. We can quickly go through like top 10 of each for top tracks in the last 4 weeks, last 6 months, all time.
Okay.
And then top artists, we can go just for all time.
Yeah, I think that's a good way.
So I say we just alternate.
Yeah. So my number 1 song for the past 4 weeks is Patience, which is off the new Pink Tape album by Lil Uzi Vert. It's the one with Don Toliver.
Oh, of course.
I really love that song. It's like that he uses Don Toliver as like a backup vocalist, which is really interesting.
Right.
So it's just like Don Toliver's whole point in the song is for atmosphere. And I have heard that like I have a close friend that's like a real big Uzi fan. I'm not as big, and he's really mad because that song has been like leaked for like 4 years, and a lot of people think they don't like Don Toliver's part.
Oh, okay.
But for me, being a Don Toliver fan, it's cool to like he's like they use him like you were saying as an instrument, like he's just singing the whole time while Uzi's rapping, which is neat.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's pretty innovative actually. Have you seen that done a lot before?
No, I've never seen him treat his voice like that, and except for like he does it like in like over his own songs.
Okay. But
it's just interesting, like it's like featuring Don Toliver, you expect a verse or a chorus.
Yeah.
And it's really just like there's like one like sentence he says by himself, and everything else is like he's just singing over
That's
it.
pretty cool.
It's pretty neat. Yeah.
That's really cool. Say 2.
The next one is A, which is off that same album. It's Travis Scott. I listened to that for the Travis part. I think Travis handles the beat well. Uzi does not. He goes way too slow. Next is Take Me Back, which is one of the Weeknd songs. Off the new from the Idol. Okay. Incredible show, by the way. It's amazing.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
But yeah, but I do like the music from it. And so it's one of those songs. Then 4th is another one, A Lesser Man. Next is Everything That's Right Place by Radiohead. It's the intro to Kid A. I've just started getting into Radiohead, so most of their music, I'll be honest, I do not like.
Right.
But there's very select songs that I think are like beautiful and perfect. I consider that to be one of them. Fill the Void, another Weeknd song. Then I have Forever, which is Kate Mine, the Mine Kate Renata album.
It was good.
It's interesting. I think the collaboration was cool. I think it's like
they came out with an album, right?
That's what this is off of.
Okay, I've only listened to the single.
Because Amine is like very like fun rap, you know, and then Kate Renata is like dance. Yeah, like it's like so it's cool to put them together.
Yeah.
And then 8th is Welcome to the Machine by Pink Floyd. It's off. What's the album? I forget what the album's called. But it's what Metro Boomin based Fear of the Villains off of. It's a very synth heavy song, and synth is I'm in love with like the synth instrument. Right. Like synthesizers, my thing. Right. Then I have Renegade, which is by Kavinsky and Cautious Clay, which is Kavinsky like he produced a Weeknd song a while back, but he's like a very like 80s inspired producer. So that's a very bass heavy song, right? And like synth bass heavy, which is cool. Then Swinging on Westheimer, which is off Don Toliver's second album, and that's probably been in my top 15 for like since that album came out.
That's pretty cool.
That's been like multiple years now.
Yeah. So
like it's just it's like a 5. It's like it's the longest song he has. He's just telling a story. It's like singing the whole way through. Then Impossible Germany is by Wilco. That's my 11th. It's like most of Wilco I do not like.
Mm.
One of my friends put me onto Wilco.
Right.
I don't like most of their stuff. Really, that's the only song I do like.
Mm-hmm.
There's a guitar solo from like 2.5 minutes
Yeah.
to like the end of the song. That's like I think it's the most emotional guitar solo I've ever heard.
Really?
It's very like spacious,
Mm-hmm.
slowly builds. It's like not much like distortion. It's very clean.
Mm-hmm.
It's really interesting. It sounds like a voice.
That's cool.
It's pretty neat.
That's really cool.
Then I have Flood the Block by Benny the Butcher, which is, if you've never heard that song, it is hilariously fun. One of the words he says, respect the scorpion. That's the first thing he says.
Mm.
I don't know what it means.
It's for no reason.
But that's how it starts. It sounds like he sampled, like, ABBA?
Yeah.
It sounds like he samples ABBA. It's like crazy.
It's just like in the background or something?
Yeah,
or?
like that's like the beat, but it's like sped up. And I don't know.
Interesting.
And then, I can't believe it. Just Wanna Rock by Uzi's on here.
I mean, it's a good song.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. It's a fun song to listen to when you're with people.
Yeah.
And then Present Tense Radiohead, another
Okay.
great Radiohead song.
Right.
And then this is on here because I guess I've listened to it a lot just because it's funny.
Yeah.
The End, which is off Lil Uzi's album.
Mm-hmm.
That song is. Have you heard that song?
Is it from the new album? Like,
Yeah.
I listened to the whole thing. I just don't.
The End
some of
is
it's stupid.
It's the one where it starts off like a bunch of like noise and then it like goes into like death metal and then all of a sudden
Yes!
it's like anime.
Yes.
Like I just think it's hilarious. So I
Yeah.
listen to that a lot.
Like that's the first time where I've just like he just went straight like metal. Because I mean
Yeah.
I heard that like a lot of his music was based off of like,
Yeah.
like it's a rock rap mix of things. But I don't really think I've ever heard him. Is that him singing or is that somebody else?
I think it's him. Pretty sure.
Good for him.
Yeah.
I mean, like, is he doing it once?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I'm not trying to throw shade. I'm throwing shade.
Yeah.
But it was fine.
Yeah.
It's just
yeah.
I think it was also similar actually on that point. Similar to F2F from SZA's album. Did you
Fair.
listen to that?
Yeah.
Because it was a very much
It's a much
not just
better
the fact that
album
it
in
was-
my opinion, though.
I agree. I loved that album. I was obsessed with that album for a while. But like it was
Don
just very
Toliver
much
features good on that one too.
that one's also very
Yeah.
good. And Kaliuchis's
Oh yeah,
that one's also very good.
it's a beautiful album too.
I just think that SZA did that a lot better, in my opinion, because it was definitely out of her R&B range, for Uzi out of his rap range, but like still, it was more just like a well built together.
Well,
thing.
the way that
So it
I
kind
look,
of sounded like a Disney Channel song.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
the way I look at it is like there's like Drake did the same thing with Honestly Nevermind.
Yeah.
Which, hot take, I love that album.
Okay.
I think it's incredible, and it's mostly because I'm not a big house fan.
Mm.
So, but like the way he does it, it's like auto tune. That's just my type of music.
Mhm.
But from what I've heard, it's like house fans listen to that album
Mhm.
were disappointed. They think it's like lower, like bad tier house.
Mm.
And then rap fans are like, why?
Mm.
Like, why did you do this? 'Cause
Yeah.
it's a house album.
Right.
But like the way that's kind of how I look at Uzi's album is there's songs on there that are like death metal,
Right.
and you can tell they're death metal. But I think I've heard like if you're a death metal fan,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you'd like that album.
Right. Because
You know what I'm
it
saying?
seems too rappy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's bad death metal.
Right.
And this is not coming from someone that knows much about death metal, but yeah.
But like it's not
Yeah.
really like
Exactly.
yeah, it's fine. He made the song.
Yeah.
He put it on the album.
It's there.
And it's there.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's good.
Mhm.
Right. We go into my top.
You want to go? So that's that. You want to go back and forth? I think that's
I think we
fine.
can do that.
That's
yeah,
fine.
it'll be easier. So my top tracks last 4 weeks. We're going for 1 through 10. Surprisingly enough.
We went 1 through 10. I went 1 through 15.
Oh, that's fine. We can do that.
Well, do whatever you want to do. I didn't mean if you want to go 1 through 10, we'll
No.
go 1 through 10.
I literally went, what is mine? I'm not going to 1 through 15. I'm going 1 through 10.
Okay.
I'll go 1 through
14.
13.
13. Okay.
Maybe 14, just not 15. I'm embarrassed to say that one because that's not a funny song. But my number one
It's the Cars
song.
soundtrack, if you're wondering.
No, it's not. The top tracks last 4 weeks. My number one song has been "Spread" by Outkast. It was a random song that just came up in my recommended, and for some reason I love it because I mean it's got a jazzy vibe to it. Of course,
yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I like it. Very un-Outcasty. I didn't expect it to kind of pop up, but then it was just, I don't know if it was in my Discover Weekly or my Daily Mix for Spotify, but it was just like kind of popped up and I was like, all right. I mean, it's really sexual, not gonna lie. It's, there's a lot, I mean, the whole point, it's him wanting the girl to spread her legs for him, which is kind of crazy, but I think that it sounds really, really good.
Yeah.
Number 2, Always by Daniel Caesar. Okay. So the majority of these are going to be Daniel Caesar songs because he's been in the rotation for the past 2 months so far.
Gotcha. That's fair.
Because I didn't realize how obsessed, like how so unbelievably obsessed I have been with this man. Because it's just, I think it may have just been right place, right time, right album. I don't know if you've had a similar experience with this before. It's just like this album came out at the right point in my life, or I've just listened to it as to where my mental state has just been so just like zen and just so like chill. Similar to like me and Billie Eilish. Like, I mean, I talk about her not really that much, but like to the people who know, like I'm a huge fan of her music because it's just like, I would say they're similar in terms of like how I listen to like that's kind of chill, kind of like on the low end of just like really relaxing, at least in my opinion, music. I mean, I don't know how to categorize like her slow music, but she's like slow music and Daniel Caesar's more R&B. So they're not really similar artists at all with their music, but I would kind of consider them to be like the oddballs in terms of just like really, really chill music.
Yeah.
So I have number 2. Always is the most like general, like you can kind of tell, you can see the story arc through how he produces it, I guess, or however the producer does it, because it's like, it starts out slow and then it kind of, I think it's a love story talking about like how he's always going to be there for whoever girl he was talking with or whatever. And it, it kind of starts out slow. You got the climax and then you got the middle and you got the climax again. And you got the end, right? That little story arc. So that's definitely probably why it's been on number 2. I just listened to, again, like this album, top to bottom. Maybe skipping Disillusioned is good. Not my favorite. Is it on here?
Oh, no.
No, it's not. That's the reason. It's fine, but typically that's the one that I'll skip because I like the song, but it still takes me like 30 seconds to a minute to get into that song.
That's fair.
Do you listen to Dami and JD Beck by any chance?
I do not.
Do you know who they are?
No.
They're a jazz duo, like kids about our age, like prodigies, basically. Wow. Dami, I think, is the girl. I think she's French. And then JD Beck is the guy. And Dami is like, she plays like a 2-level piano with like bass pedals for like different stuff. So like multiple instruments at the same time. And then JD Beck plays drums. I think he's American. And they have a tiny desk. Really good. Really good album. I think it's called Smile. Hold on. It's not on here. It's just a side note. Let's see, Dami.
While he's doing this, if you want to watch something good musically, search Corey Henry, Billie Jean.
Love Corey Henry. I've not heard of the Billie Jean version.
It's all through a vocoder. It's incredible. It's on YouTube.
Send that to me.
I will.
I will listen to that actually because I'm a big fan of Corey Henry.
He does the same thing with the piano like you were talking about.
Okay, that's really cool. So the album's called Not Tonight, or Not Tight. Sorry. Because the only thing I was thinking about that was Take a Chance by Dami and JD Beck. Dami, not sure. And Anderson .Paak, he's on there as well.
That's cool. Yeah.
Love Anderson. Love him. He's amazing. Absolutely amazing song. It's very beautiful, right? But hot take, Anderson, I love his solos. His features, not as much. Especially, surprisingly, this is one of the few songs where I don't like his part as much as I like Dami and JD Beck's.
Gotcha.
But the song is really good. It's just one of those songs that like kind of starts off weird, but I like it as a whole.
Yeah.
So number 3, Annihilate. It's just from the Spider-Man album. Like it's just been on play because of the movie. It's good. 4, Superpowers. Love that song. Daniel Caesar. Oh, you got powers. I can't sing, but I love, absolutely love that song. Number 5, Boys a Liar Part 2.
It's a fun song. It's a fun song.
It's good. It's definitely one.
That's like my Just Wanna Rock. Like it's like
It's cute. It's fun.
Yeah.
It makes me want to kick my feet up sometimes. Yeah. Love Pink Panthers. One of the few songs that I like with Ice Spice. Like I genuinely like her part because she's not like too much. She's just like on the DL. She raps her lines. It's good flow. It's like, it's whatever. It's good. Number 6, My Piece by PJ Morton. Just love PJ Morton in general. Great artist. He's one of the few artists that I've seen in concert and gospel R&B artist. And My Piece is just a really good song of his. Have you heard it before? Do you know who PJ Morton is? Okay, good artist. Illusion. I don't know how to pronounce this. This is French. I'm gonna Americanize it. Illusion sur Mauna Loa. That is the worst pronunciation you will ever hear for French.
Could be right.
Illusion sur Mauna Loa. Mauna Loa? No idea.
If you said that to me, I'd think you were serious. So.
Well, there you go. I am serious.
Yeah.
There you go. So that one, I mean, like, it's good. It's just one random, like, jazzy-ish, I think. I don't remember. Maybe it's, like, rhythm-y, not sure. Song. I don't think it has lyrics. I just found it, put it in my liked, and it's just been there. Wow. Penitentiary Philosophy. I don't remember how this goes, but it's an Erykah Badu song. I was listening to that album. Let me see what album it is. Penitentiary Philosophy. From Mama's Gun. That's what it's called. Oh, just because it was a start, I guess, because I was listening to the album a couple of times.
Gotcha.
Didn't You Know was the song that I was really, really liking on there. Of course, it's the most popular song of there. Have you heard that song before?
I think so. I've listened to that album before, I know.
So good.
Yeah.
That right there, that beat,
yeah.
the drums, the bass,
yeah.
You cannot beat that.
Yeah, that's fair.
You cannot beat that. It's crazy. And that's why spoiler alert, it's on my number 13. That's why. So number 9, 10, and 11, all from Daniel Caesar's album. Do You Like Me, Toronto 2014, and Homosexual, all great.
Ty Dolla $ign, I love him, by the way.
That's one of the few songs that I actually really like of his, because I think he just works really well in Homosexual. Crazy duo.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought about that.
Well, he's known as the feature artist. Like, he named his main album that everyone knows featuring Ty Dolla $ign. That's what he's known for. He's always featuring, because he provides very great layered vocals.
Right.
But yeah, I can see how he'd work. It's just an interesting choice.
Right. I agree. Did you listen to the song, the whole album, right? Do you know any other songs by Mustafa?
He's on the Heroes and Villains.
Really?
Yeah, he's it's the one with Kendrick. I mean, not 21. It's the like 2-part song. I'm pretty sure. Go to that album again. Pretty sure it's Mustafa.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah. Appears on Heroes and Villains.
It's the one with just 21, not with what's his name?
There's no search. Where's the search?
Just go down. I know where it is. It's Walk 'Em Down.
Okay. Interesting.
He's the adult and down. Go to the very end. Go back a little bit more like.
Nice. Good for him.
Yeah.
Like I like his voice. It's very nice.
Interesting.
He's got like 500,000 right now as of July 7th, 2023 monthly listeners. He's good. I like it. Let's see. Let me make sure this is all still working. All right, cool. So yeah, all three of those are great. That was my 9, 10, 11. Toronto 2014. Great story. I'm acting like I listen to the lyrics. I don't. I think this is the second. Again, this is the second song in the album. I think I know that because the first one is, hold on, Daniel Caesar. Am I right? Please say I'm right. Damn it.
Close.
It's number 3 because it starts with Ocho Rios. Then you got Valentina. Yeah, Toronto 2014. Let Me Go. Let Me Go and Do You Like Me were his singles that he released beforehand. Both great. Loved them. And then listened to this whole thing and I was like, man, it's really good. Loved that one. Superpowers is great as well. So Best Friend, Rex Orange County. Not sure why that popped up. Huge Rex fan. Been a huge Rex fan for a while. He's in my top 15 of all time, I think. But he's just there. 13, yeah. Didn't You Know? Like I said before. 14, Uptown Funk. Just kind of appeared there. Not sure why. 15, not going to talk about. So
the Cars soundtrack. The entire soundtrack.
And so, yeah. Do we want to go into last 6 months and all time?
Yeah, I think I'm down.
All right, bet. Let's do that.
We just do all time for artists, but.
All right, let's do that.
All right, so yeah, my top last 6 months. First is my song, Listen Now. It's called Famous by JJ Talent. It's featuring Knox. He's a good friend of mine. Definitely the best song I've produced, at least that's out. So there's more coming. But
Thanks.
I will say that, like, compared to my last album, I think this song is much better, and I'm very proud of it.
It's very good. I have listened to it.
And then second is Embarrassed, which is off of Don Toliver's new album with Travis Scott. That's like one of the few songs on that album I think like stands out to the rest of his discography.
Really? What album you said it was from?
It's from Lovesick, the deluxe version. It's on the deluxe only.
Heart thing?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So it's very interesting. Like, it is like, for people that are saying Don Toliver is trying to sound too much like Travis Scott, it does not help his case because there's like
who says that?
A lot of people say
really?
that. They say he's not trying to go away from it enough. But that song, there's parts where you don't know who is singing.
Yeah. They
go back and forth, and it's hard to tell.
That's actually so funny.
And then Geronimo, which is also off of the deluxe. It's very like, it's a pretty short song, but it's a classic, like not too like hard, but like more sped up than Toliver's song. Then Given Up, which is off the Spider-Man album. That's Don Toliver, 21 Savage, 2 Chainz. Then No Pole, off Don Toliver's album, is very good. It's also on the deluxe. These are all those are on the deluxe, just the deluxe. And then 6th is For Me, which is one of the singles he put out before the album. That's also on the album. 7th is The Black Seminole, which I love that album. That's the Lil Yachty album, the one with like that's like more like rock, like Pink Floyd influence.
Yes, I think
incredible
I did
album.
See it. I don't know.
So that's the intro.
Okay.
Then Patience featuring Don Toliver, which we talked about already. Fantasy, like you were talking about the Kali Uchis album. That's
fantastic.
Song. Incredible really song. Then I have Strike, which this is out of all these, this is the one I'm most embarrassed by. Strike Holster by Lil Yachty. It's just a fun song, and he does a little thing. So
that's a signature.
Yeah,
you can't hate him for it.
And then the next two, he does the same thing. It's Say Something and Pretty, both off that album, the album before. I love both those songs. Then 13th is Denver, which is off Jack Harlow's new project. Most of that project is not good. The production's great. He struggles to handle the beats, but Denver, I think he handles it well. The sample work is great. It's very emotional sounding, which is cool. Rare for him. Then 14th is Hardcore, which I think is like some guy named Zach BIA or Bia. Like, he made the beat and Don Toliver was just on it. But it's a good song. And then 15th is Drive Me Crazy, also off the Lil Yachty album.
Gotcha. That's a good list. It's very good. Very consistent with Don Toliver.
Yeah. I think it's because he put the new album out. Yeah, so like when that came out, I was probably listening to that for like 3 weeks.
Lovesick, you said, right?
Lovesick, yeah. Okay. Definitely my least favorite of his albums. But
really? But I still
like it.
It's still
Don Toliver. But so it's definitely like
what would you say your top? Which one do you say are the better ones? All of the other ones, or
okay? So he has like technically like a mixtape, and then he has 3 other albums. So there's the mixtape's fine. It's very like you can tell it's early on,
right? And
then Heaven and Hell's in my top 3. It's very Heaven and Hell's much more synth. It's much more atmospheric,
right?
The second one's Life of a Dawn, which is very like. It's like what I'm worried about is it's almost like he put that out so he could go to more pop. It's like that. This is my rap album, and now I'm gonna go pop. And like I don't want that to happen. But like that album's definitely more rap based, and that does have my favorite Don Toliver song on it. Maybe Swing on a Westheimer, which is like I said earlier, it's a great song. But it's Company. If you haven't heard Company off Heaven and Hell, listen to that like late at night in the car when you're driving. It's an out of body experience.
Interesting.
It's crazy.
You said Heaven and Hell?
It's on Heaven and Hell, and it's called Company.
Okay. Definitely. Text that to me. Or
is that what it's...
Should I write that down? I'm going to add that to my, do you have like a late night playlist?
Yeah.
Actually, I'm just going to text it to you to text it to me.
Heaven or Hell.
Heaven.
For people that I've been saying it wrong.
Oh. Okay.
That's the name of the album. The track is called Company. And he's actually made 3. Every album's had a company. There's Company Part 1, Part 2, Part 3.
Yeah, I'm thinking about. No, I was just thinking about. I was getting confused. I didn't put 2 and 2 together. That it was talking about Metro Boomin. No, that's Heroes and Villains. I'm confusing myself.
Oh yeah.
Okay, never mind. I'm getting Metro Boomin and
Don Toliver. Well, they've worked together a lot, so that's fair.
Okay, that was very fair.
It's your turn.
Top 15 are. It's a lot of blue. A lot of blue.
Yeah.
It's all never enough. Number 1, number 2, number 4, number 7, number 8, number 9, number 10, number 12.
Wow.
All, it's basically his album. Oh, and number 3 is also Do You Like Me from,
Is that
but
from
it was
the
a
album?
single. That was a single cover.
Is it on the album?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Worth the Wait, Omar Apollo. I loved this one because, let me check this right now. Worth the Wait, Tyler.
Just put Tyler Creator.
The Creator. Was Worth the Wait
Go up.
produced by Tyler, the Creator?
Go down. Why do you think this?
Because you cannot tell me that this is not a Tyler beat. Just listen to it. We're going to listen to it. Hold on.
I mean, well, that's one of those things, though. Even if he didn't, he probably inspired it.
Because
so you gotta look at it.
Like, the first time I looked at it, I remember I was, like, looking at the credits, and then I was like, oh my gosh, Tyler's on there. But I looked at it again, and then it wasn't there. So maybe I was just tripping. I don't know. But, like...
Skip forward. Yeah, I see it.
You cannot tell
I
me
will
that's
say,
not
though,
Tyler.
I get it, but it sounds like old Tyler because it's not complicated enough.
That's fair.
Which is, like, the thing. Like, he's all in now on, like, the, like, weird chords and, like, all this stuff to where, like... And, like, that's the thing. That sounds more like something that'd be on, like, one of his earlier albums. Even though I do hear the synth stuff, like, out of, like, Igor era.
Yeah, that's fair. Because it just sounds so... That's one of the reasons why I love it. It's because I'm a huge Tyler Creator fan. So that's why that's at number 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, Ocho Rios, Always, Do You Like Me, Toronto 2014. Almost... not actually in order. I was going to say that. That's wrong. But all Daniel Caesar. Number 5, After Last Night with Thundercat. And Bootsy Collins for Silk Sonic. Great song.
Mm-hmm.
It's just...
It's
been good. It will be good.
Yeah.
Has been good. Is good.
Yeah.
Worth the Wait. Number 6 is just... That's one of the reasons why I like it a lot. Kali Uchis is... What's the album called? Just Red
Fun
Moon
fact.
and Venus.
Do you know who her boyfriend is?
Don Toliver.
There we go.
And I did not know that until recently. Because good for them.
Yeah.
What song
Power
is it?
couple.
Fantasy. Yep.
Yeah. And she's been on both of his past 2 albums.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Good for them. Did you know that Tyler and Kali Uchis have also been working together since like 2013?
I did not know that. That's interesting.
Either he was in some of her really early videos or he was in one of Flippin' whatever.
That's interesting. I'd love a Don Toliver Tyler feature. Like,
that would be so sick. Because they've been working together since they were both small artists. Yeah. And I was like, that's crazy. Same thing with Khalid and Billie Eilish. I don't know if you knew.
I did know that.
Yeah. I didn't know about that until... Actually, I've known about that for a while. Anyways, so Valentina, Do You Like Me, Homosexual, and Superpowers, all from Daniel Caesar's Never Enough album, 7, 8, 9, 10. SOS is number 11 from SZA.
I like that song a lot.
Great song.
Yeah.
Kill Bill, of course, was going to be the popular one.
Yeah.
Like, it was obvious when you heard that, but then you still got to appreciate the rest of them.
And
SOS
Don Toliver's is good.
Yes. That was very good. Very, very good.
Yeah.
Let Me Go by Daniel Caesar. It's number 12. That's What I Like. Bruno Mars, 13. Great one. Ready When You Are, Planet Giza. Have you heard them before?
I think I have. It sounds very familiar, so I feel like I probably have.
I don't know if an artist or a band, but great artist.
How long are we gone?
I have no idea.
I'm asking them.
I have no idea how long we were gone. Only they will know. Or maybe it'll cut out because it'll be some sort of... Audio's been recording. Video's not.
You could, like, animate what got cut out. Spend, like, a few years on that.
Yeah,
and then put this video out.
I think that would be pretty nice.
So it's good work.
I gotta finish the documentary first, and I'll get to that. Number 2 of all time is Mr. Controversial.
Fair.
And I'll stand by it. He is not a good person. I don't think. He has his plenty of problems. However, his genius when it comes to his music production is revolutionary.
I mean, he has 2 albums that define what music is now in that genre. Whether it's 808s or Yeezus. Like, and those are not even his best albums, but they are what rap is now. I mean, yeah.
like it or not. I mean, my top two have been known to be very controversial artists in general. So I'm a proponent of separating the artist from, or the art from the artist. In this case, I don't know if I sound snobby saying that or whatever, but I don't know. That's what I think. Another hot take, I think that Jesus is King is his best album.
Wow.
That is my hottest take of hot
Yo,
takes.
if this blows up, you are going to die.
That is the hottest take of my hot takes that
Why?
I have, that Christian and I have spent hours talking about.
Oh, he has to hate that.
He hates it with his whole heart. I've never seen him so angry, and I've never seen him raise his voice so much at me before.
Yeah.
Like,
I
genuinely.
don't think he likes, I mean, he's probably college dropout, maybe.
I think so. We talked about this. We went through everything. I listened to the entirety of Kanye's discography again to prove my point. There is, to be fair, I will say this. I will back this up. There are so many of Kanye's songs that if you put all of those from the different albums together, those specific songs those are more songs that I like than the actual album itself in Jesus is King. But
As a full project.
as a full project, from like the enjoyment of listening to the album top to bottom, that's a no skip for me, in my opinion.
I don't think that's a bad take. Like, I feel like it's okay to like that album. I do feel
and
like,
you can hate me.
well,
And
here's the thing.
I don't care.
I get what you're, like, Graduation, a lot of people consider his best album, has Drunken Hot Girls, which is one of his worst songs ever. Then there's all the skits on College Dropout and Late Registration. Hold on. Then Yeezus, I mean, a lot of people don't like the intro. A lot of people don't like I Am a God. Let's see. Life of Pablo, there definitely are some skips on there. Let's see. Then there's 808s. 808s, I mean, I understand if you don't think it's not your favorite. Like, it's just a lot of experimental stuff. It's stuff that would be improved upon later, but he started the movement there.
Yeah.
Donda is good in its own right.
Good enough.
And there's definitely some skips on Donda, I'd say. But I think the thing that, like, for me is, like, it would take probably 60 Kanye songs, if not more, before I put, like, if I was ranking Kanye songs, one to, like, all of them, it would take at least 60 before I got to there's that one song, the Jesus King, the album.
Yeah. I think I know what you're talking about. I actually agree with that statement.
But that's my point, is that I think there are full albums, like
Follow God, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a good chance that, like, a full album could happen before I get to a Follow God song.
I agree.
But you're saying, I guess it's just like you like the flow of it all as a whole.
I like the flow as a whole the best out of all of his albums. I think also because this is an 11 song album. All of his other albums are, I think, longer than this.
I think Yeezus is close. Yeezus might be shorter.
Okay.
But Yeezus is weird. I get it.
And some of them have, like, random interludes or, like, random, like you said, like, random things that are kind of spliced in between. But I think this is one of the few that I genuinely, like, I like top to bottom. And, like, they're not fantastic, but it's good from top to bottom. And I will stand by them. I have stood
This is one of those takes where, like, it's such a crazy take that you clearly, like, mean it.
I do.
That's what I'm saying. So there's no point in arguing about it.
There really isn't.
That's the way I look at it. Because, like,
if
you're coming out and saying this, like, I'm not gonna be able to be like, it's not. And you're gonna be like, oh, okay. Like, that's not.
you can't change your mind. Yeah. I mean, it just is.
Yeah. I mean, I will say Kanye, like, normally this is not one of the albums included in this conversation, but people have. I didn't even say my Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, which is also one of his, like, considered one of his best. But there's people say Graduation, people say College Dropout, people say My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Like, most artists have a definitive best album. You know, Drake, most people, almost everyone would say, if you're reading this, it's too late. Let's see, Frank Ocean, most people would say Blonde.
Right.
Tyler, Igor, Flower Boy. It's Kanye. It's like you could make an argument for every album, but in my opinion, this is the only one you couldn't. Which is, but clearly, you can, I guess, like this one most. And I'm not hating.
The opinion is there.
I just think it's,
and that's it.
I just disagree very strongly, but it's one of those. I don't know. But I don't think it's a bad album. I just think it's like there's like.
It doesn't have much substance to it. I understand. He was also going through this was his album that he like switched from like I'm a rapper to I'm a Jesus person.
Yeah.
Like that was crazy. But not in the studio.
Closed on Sunday. She's my Chick-fil-A.
That's facts.
Wow.
But hold on, let me go to some other albums because here's the thing. Donda's great.
Yeah.
Kids See Ghosts, good. Not the biggest fan of.
I think there's
how Kid Cudi.
I want to make a list. There's certain songs that I think have like there's certain songs. I'll name three of them right now.
Mm-hmm.
Go up again. Let's see what it's called. Go down. Back to it's Kids See Ghost. Feel the Love. There's certain songs that are like they have like a span of the song is the most beautiful thing ever. So, Feel the Love. There's a part in that song that's incredibly beautiful. I don't really mess with most of the rest of the album, which is a weird take, but there's a 20-second span in there. Let's see. How do I do it?
Long.
After Cudi does all the gun things, which is an awful part. Like it's one of the worst parts of the album, and then it goes to like a beautiful section.
Yeah.
Then Daft Punk, who might be my top 5 artists,
Great.
And
Great
albums
choice.
maybe too.
Really?
But they have a song, if Lose Yourself to Dance. There's the second chorus is the most expert use of vocoders of all time. And then third is that, like I said, that Wilco guitar solo. But I think it's interesting how like there's songs I would say that like there's very specific moments in certain songs I would consider to be the best, but I would never put those songs in my favorites of all time.
I agree.
Like I don't like this song.
I agree.
But okay.
Some parts just sound
Continue
so nice.
what you were saying.
Yeah, you're good. And that was it. I mean, I was just kind of going through it. Like, I have listened to it multiple times to make a point. Like, Life of Pablo, great.
What do you think of Yeezus? I like Yeezus more than most people.
I mean, of course, On Sight, I think is, well, again, a lot of, specifically Kanye, for some odd reason, I can imagine the most when it comes to music video stuff. That's always the first thing that comes to mind is how do I imagine this being in a production?
Yeah.
That's
I Am a God is
reason why.
incredibly... So the 3 songs I'd say on here that people, or like 4, that people might not like is On Sight, I Am a God, I'm In It, and Send It Up.
Really?
Yeah. Hold My Liquor is incredible.
Okay.
I mean, every other song on there is incredible.
Interesting.
And then other ones are good.
Right.
But and I Am a God is incredibly cinematic.
Right. And I'm listening to I'm looking at the streams right now too, and it backs what you're saying. Those are not really the most streamed, but I see what you mean. But yeah, I agree. I definitely have to listen to some of these again to remember what they're talking about. But like Watch the Throne,
No.
completely forgot about that album. Sorry. Like some of them are great. Like of course you
There's
have
some good songs on there. But I mean I'm just saying like it doesn't like I'm just saying that doesn't mean that it's like I agree with you that that's album's not that good.
Right. Yep. So okay, I'm done talking about Kanye right now.
We don't like him.
We don't
Bad
like
man.
him. Bad man. Very bad man. It's on camera.
He's a mean man.
Don't. He's doing his thing. Whatever it may be. Go you,
He's
man.
probably wrong.
Was it don't do what I do what I think? Is that what that saying is? Never mind. I never said that.
We've been talking for like 3 hours.
We've been talking for 2.5 to 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Am I gonna edit this into something that's like an hour, or am I gonna keep raw?
I think I don't keep it raw. You could make like 2 videos probably.
Probably.
You make a movie one and a music one.
Because this is longer than a movie.
Yeah.
It's
better than a movie.
It's better than a movie. You shouldn't watch Oppenheimer. Watch us talk right here.
Probably watch
right
Oppenheimer
now.
too.
Watch Oppenheimer. Yeah.
But
yeah, that's a good idea.
well, you can watch both.
Yeah, not Barbie though. Don't
watch Barbie.
Don't watch Barbie.
It says it's good for people that hate Barbie too.
You want to watch Oppenheimer? Are you watching with people?
No.
You want to watch with me?
Sure.
All right, cool. Let's do that. Because everybody else, all my other friends are going to watch Barbie and Oppenheimer together, and I am so unbelievably anti-Barbie that I don't want to join them.
That's fair.
I mean, I don't mind like the going to Barbie and dressing up and all that thing.
I don't want to do that. I wouldn't do that. I'd go see Barbie. I wouldn't do that. I'd dress up like Oppenheimer.
Just don't want to watch Barbie.
That's fair.
Like, it's not even like a masculinity thing. I just don't see a point of spending my money to watch something that I don't want to see.
Fair.
Simple as that. All right. Number 3 of all time is Duckworth. Why? Because of the specific super good album. That is the number one reason why. Because he does not have a big discography. It's like 3 albums, maybe. Just that. Simple. 4, Lamp.
Like you were saying, yeah.
I love you, Lamp. Lamp shot to number 4 of my all-time, beat Billie Eilish.
And two other people.
And 2 other people. But most specifically Billie Eilish, because she was my number 4 for the longest time. It was always Kanye, Tyler, Duckworth, and Billie Eilish were my top 4 for years. Billie dropped over the past 2 years. After Happier Than Ever, she hasn't released much since. She's released like The 30th in TV and another single that just came out recently.
Gotcha.
That's all I'm going to talk about her, but love you, Billie. Great artist. Lamp is crazy. Great, really soothing, just Japanese music. Very nice. You listen to some of it. Yeah. It's very calming. Bruno Mars, number 5, probably because of Silk Sonic. Mixed in with just Bruno Mars being Bruno Mars. He's, I mean, of course, a great artist. And
he do what he do.
He do what he do. And he's been up there for a bit. Anderson is actually a lot lower, unfortunately. He's really low down the list. But these top artists of all time are top plays, but not necessarily my top picks.
Oh, yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
So that's why Bruno's higher than Anderson. I think that Anderson as a drummer is a lot more akin to my vibe and me.
Fair.
And I want to see him so bad. If he's in concert, I will sell my liver and kidney. And
how much can you don't you have to have a liver?
Wait.
I think
no, you have one liver. Sorry. Sell my kidney. Because you have 2 kidneys. Yeah. I will die for you, Anderson.
I will die so I can go to your concert. Yeah.
I love Anderson so much. Top artist of all time. Tyler's number 2, I would say.
Fair.
Billy 3, Daniel Caesar 4. I think that was my top 4. You go for top 4. Did we already do this?
I don't think so.
Just rattle off top 4 off the top of your head.
Weeknd, Don Toliver, Daft Punk, Travis Scott.
Solid. That's a good list. So 6, Kendrick Lamar. You can't really argue.
He's not very good. You know, it's average music. Production's like sloppy. You know.
Oh, you're funny.
Lyrically, nothing special.
No.
Storytelling is just
terrible.
Average. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Listen to better music, man.
That's what I'm saying. Bro, Yeet's what's up, man. Bro, you should listen to some Yeet while you're at it, okay? Yeah. Bro, Yeet is here. Kendrick is like so far. So 6 is Kendrick. 7 is Billie Eilish. I don't think I really listen to her lyrics as much. It's the same thing.
She's a vibe, though.
She's a vibe. I like her. Daniel Caesar has popped up to 8. Did not listen to him I listened to Best Part. That was it. We love her, too. Her is great. I don't really know if I know any other her songs. Do you know any other her songs besides Best Part?
Wait, you mean like the artist her?
The artist her.
Yeah. There's a Bryson Tiller song that has her on it. I just don't remember what it's called. It's a good song though. She's been on it. She's like I don't think I listened to any of her songs by herself, but I've heard like features that she's either people featuring on her songs or vice versa.
I would say she's a collab artist, not a feature artist, because I feel like
she has her own fan base just for her. I'm just saying for me, it's like what I've listened to. I feel like I listen to her when it's connected to another artist.
That's fair.
She collaborates a lot, yeah, but I think she definitely has her own.
I agree. So yeah, Daniel Caesar's 8. Love him. I didn't like him until it just again once I got to college, for some reason, I feel like my mindset changed in a way. I'm just cool. I'm better. I'm hip now. I just like...
He was not cool at all.
He was not cool
but
until I made him cool.
Now he's really cool.
Mm-hmm. That's right, Daniel. That's facts. Aaron May is my number 9. Do you know who that is?
No. It sounds very familiar.
He's a Chicago hip hop artist. I think that's what they call it. I think that's what the genre is. Aaron May. Love his music. Specifically Chase, this album right here. Dreams, Let Go, I'm Good, Love, and Joy. All absolutely fantastic songs.
I'll give him a listen, yeah.
I am not surprised why he's number 9. Number 10, Rex Orange County.
Okay.
Respect.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it. He's just a really good artist. Love. Actually, he's probably one of the artists that I probably have some albums that I could listen to all the way to.
Gotcha.
Maybe some skips. SZA was not up there until SOS.
Fair.
Now she's number 11.
What do you think of Control?
Fine. I didn't listen to
the whole Some people consider that to be like the best album of all time.
Nope.
I agree with... I don't agree with that either. Nope. But I'm just saying like that a lot of people like... It did like start something.
I agree.
But yeah.
It's good.
It's good. Yeah.
It's very good. I mean, not saying it's bad at all. It's
no, I know what you mean though.
absolutely amazing. But not that good.
Mm-hmm. That's fine. I mean, yeah.
I think... Do I think SOS is better than Control? I listen to SOS a lot more than in Control, so I don't know, because I also didn't listen to all of Control until I listened to SOS. So I don't think I could really make that decision.
Yeah, that's fine.
Do you think you could?
I'm definitely Control. I think SOS is good. I don't think it's bad at all. I just think Control's like... There's a lot of good songs on there.
There are. It's true. And the streams on Control is crazy. I mean, it's also had more time, but still. That one is solid. That, of course...
If you want to watch a funny video, watch her perform what's that song called with Travis?
On Control?
Don't tell me yet. Hold on. Love Hurts, maybe?
Love Galore.
Love Galore. Love Galore. She performs that live, and her fans are like singing along and everything. Mm-hmm. Travis Scott comes out. And it is insanity. It's hilarious. He comes out there like starts screaming, and everyone like goes insane. Like it's like it's all quiet, and she's like singing, like being like and then he comes out there and like it like changes vibes completely. It's awesome and like hilarious. Sorry, you can keep going.
No, you're good. I will watch it. That really sounds funny. I love SZA. Travis is also great. 12 is Anderson .Paak.
Okay,
that's crazy. In terms of just understanding his expertise, I would put him as my number 1, and he's been there for a good bit.
Well, see, that's the thing. Is like it's less apparent with me because mine is less time.
Right.
But for you, it's like you've had 10 years to change how you feel about these artists and like learn about these artists.
Right.
So like you can't like it's like obviously this is not going to line up with your top 5.
Right.
Like of your like and like who your favorite is.
And that's a good segue to number 13, Drake. Number 13.
I will say, I think Drake is hated, and that's fine. Like, hate on him. He's weird. He does a lot of weird things.
Great artist.
But there's people that are like trailblazers, and that's not Drake. But Drake is the master of seeing a movement and capitalizing off of it.
That is a really good point.
So that's the thing is like someone might make a really revolutionary album, like very new, but then Drake will see that and make it good, if that makes sense. And that's why like he's been so successful, because everything he does is like of the time. He doesn't get outdated. Or his music dates itself, but he doesn't get outdated himself.
He's been in it since the early 2000s now. Same thing with Kanye.
Yeah.
Kanye doesn't change as much, but he's just been there.
Kanye changes in weird ways that you would expect. That's why he's like so like influential.
I think that's a point that I forgot to make as well. Like, different people view Kanye in different ways, depending on how old you are, because of like how long he's just been consistent in everybody's lives as an artist, and but he's shaped the different generations in different ways.
Yeah,
like he's shaped millennials in a lot of a different way than he shaped Gen Zers. I would say.
Yeah. For sure.
Because of just how he approaches music, how he approached whatever the heck he was talking about in the media at that time.
Yeah.
But he's been crazy. He's known he's been crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But both he and Drake have such just like a huge influence in just the hip hop rap
ways,
community.
though. But yeah,
in general. But great artists.
Yeah.
Drake knows how to perform.
Exactly.
Knows how to perform. Number 14, Ariana Grande. Had a huge Ariana Grande phase. 2017 with what was the album?
I haven't listened to much of her music, but I know that she's like incredibly talented.
Ariana Grande. It was the Thank You Next album, but it was before that. It was I stopped after the Thank You Next album, actually. So it was Thank You Next, Sweetener, and
Dangerous Woman was a long time.
Started at Dangerous Woman.
Okay.
So 2016 to 2019. Absolutely obsessed. She was in my top 3, I think, for multiple years. And I kind of dropped off afterwards. Her music is great. Still enjoy listening to her old stuff. But
I personally don't love her music, but like she's an incredibly talented singer. It's incredible.
34, 35, POV, those are the typical good ones.
Gotcha.
I would say her pop stuff is definitely what I know now, but I was very into her not so poppy things earlier. To end it all, actually, can I go to 17? You think that these are good ones, good talking points? Well, we already talked about these, actually.
I'll stop. 17. No, if you want to, I thought, yeah. I mean, whatever you want to do. That's weird. I did not expect that.
Which one?
That.
This?
That.
Really?
From you?
Oh my gosh, yes.
That's awesome. I love that. I'm just saying, I did not expect that.
Oh my gosh, yes. All right, I guess we're going to 18.
Go to 18, sure.
All right, sounds good. So, number 15, Tom Misch. If you know who Tom Misch is, marry me right now. Do it. Do you know who Tom Misch is?
You don't want to do that. No.
That's why I don't like you. Ending the video. No, I'm kidding. Tom Misch, this man. My love. My one and only. Geography album actually is one of the few albums. Actually, I would say it. Yep.
No skips, you're saying?
No skips. Wow. Mm-hmm. I found another no skipper.
No skipper.
No skipper. That's so weird. Sounds so weird. The Geography album.
Gotcha.
By Tom Misch. It's jazzy, but also kind of not.
I'm an artist. Art is a...
There's also like disco. Disco, yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
Cannot tell me that's amazing.
Good.
Great artist. Obsessed with that specific album. Like some of his other songs, he hasn't come out with. He came out with one thing this year. And that. Actually, he did have 2 more albums, I forgot, since then. I was not the biggest fan.
Oh, those albums, gotcha.
They were fine. Quarantine Sessions were better. But Tom Misch and Jacob Collier, in my opinion, go hand in hand in terms of not niche, but very artistic and very well produced kind of songs. So, moving on. Kali Uchis. Is that how you pronounce your name?
Yeah.
I don't even know how to pronounce your name. Love her.
Yeah.
Great artist in general.
Really beautiful music.
I agree. Very, very much so. It's just it's always very flowery, of course. Just her voice and the production just always works very well. Can you be your own producer? Is that a thing?
Yeah, that's what, Kanye.
I don't know how.
Travis. Most of the time they'll get help.
Mm.
That's it's like songs will have credits, but a lot of like Kanye produces his own songs, and he might get help from Mike Dean.
Mm.
The Weeknd's the same way. Travis Scott started his career as a producer, and then now he gets help from people, but he still produces.
Wow, that's crazy. Good for him. Yeah, so I did not know that.
Yeah,
that's good to know. The more you know. All right, number 17, Steve Lacy. We love Steve.
Yeah,
he didn't really show up on my radar until he got popular. I was not a huge fan. Knew some of his stuff, wasn't the biggest fan. What was the most recent album called? Steve Lacy. I forgot. It was Gemini writes. That was good. Typical. Actually, the song that got me hooked was Inside. But I do want to say that was before it got popular on TikTok. I need to put that out there because I feel like my street cred needs to be elevated in that specific manner.
It's so funny because like I don't even know that song because I don't listen to anyone on TikTok. Okay, I'm just not on. Like it's so interesting. I feel like people know about things from TikTok now, and I just don't.
That is true. Yeah, this is like the.
Don't need no approval, girl, you got it.
I don't dislike it. I just don't know it.
Obsessed with that beat. Absolutely amazing. Number 18. To end it all, Playboy Cardi. That's it. I have nothing to say because I was a huge Cardi fan. I get Cardi and Uzi mixed up a lot though.
They're back to back here too.
They are back to back. Uzi is 19. Jacob Collier is 20th actually.
Cardi. I mean, some people don't realize how like influential Cardi is.
People don't because I don't.
Die Lit
And people.
Die Lit is like that is like people. Most people would say at this point that like Lil Uzi is bigger than Cardi, right?
Right now.
Yeah, but the thing that you don't realize is like Cardi, like in a lot of ways, like influenced this Pink Tape album, and like I don't know, like it's just he's very like this stuff had not been done before, and now it's very popular. And same with Whole Lotta Red, like it got a lot of hate at first. It's grown on people, but now rage beats are like a thing. Like Trippy's trying to do them. Trippy Red.
I was about to say Trippy.
And
really...
he like yeah, but like it's all Cardi started it. And this isn't even as crazy as Whole Lotta Red. There's some songs on here like I mean you recognize. Hold on, go back to that album.
Which one?
Go down. Travis Scott feature's good, but then there's what's the one I'm thinking of? Top maybe? No. Go up. Try Home.
Yeah, spread that money on. Daddy waiting for it.
But yeah, I mean, it's just overall he's very influential. So like,
I agree.
Yeah.
Whole Lotta Red did get a lot of hate, especially the
because it's not what they expect. Like there's like one song and it's the man, yeah, but don't play that. I don't like that song. What's the one I'm thinking of? There's one song on here that's like that sounds more like old Cardi. This one, the last track. This is the only song that sounds like that at all. That sounds like that. The rest of the album is like very different, and like that's what people. But it's grown on people so much, and like it's become a popular genre in itself.
Right.
So yeah, I think Cardi gets too much hate.
Agree. I love your hate you so good though. Mm-hmm. And Sky.
This guy's yeah. It has led, I will say, unlike a lot of albums, it's led to some really bad music. Like, not much.
I don't know.
Whoa.
There we go. Now it's synced. See, but that's the issue. Okay, so I actually do want to start this because the clap actually did start the audio recording, so now it is recording. But every single time I clap, I do want to tell people this because I think it's really cool. But the reason why you clap at the beginning of a video, I don't know if you know this, or the reason why they have the little slapstick things, whatever, I forgot what they're called, is because when you see that, you look at the audio spike and you can match it.
That makes sense.
From all the different audios from wherever you are in the room.
I did not know that. I mean, it makes sense. I just did not know that.
Yeah. And so like every time I see that, it helps. But then when I add the hard limiter, when I'm editing my audio beforehand, then all the audio like scrunches together. And so you can't see the spikes anymore. And so I feel like that.
So you just almost have to.
I just have to do it beforehand and then just add the hard limiter afterwards, which is fine.
I feel like that's how I do music. Like it's like I'll record and like normally when I record I make beats first and then I do the vocals over the beats and like write the lyrics to the beats. And
okay, really?
Normally I don't I won't limit the song until I've done everything on it, and then I'll do like the after stuff because like. I feel like it's better to have everything affected the same amount.
Yeah.
So like it's weird if you're singing over like a beat that's already been limited, like you're gonna be singing quieter than you should be. And if that makes sense.
Okay.
At least that's how I view it.
Okay. That's pretty cool. I think because I do something somewhat similar, but like I feel like I'm definitely gonna try to emulate what you're doing as well, because when I'm doing video editing and stuff like that too, or like making a video, I always I choose the audio first, and you always go from like the audio first level, and you kind of go into the back end of things on how stuff works like that. But okay, you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Jackson. Make direct eye contact. I'm Jackson Talent.
That's correct.
I go by many names.
Name number 1.
Jackson. JJ is my Spotify name. JJ Talent. Name number 3. I'll go with Jeff. I'll stick with Jeff.
Jeff is a good one.
Stick with those 3.
You want to be called Jeff for this little podcast episode?
Yeah.
Lovely.
I can be Jeff from now on.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Jeff.
Nice to meet you too, Darin.
Yeah.
That's Darin.
Yeah. I'm Darin. That was a spoiler. That's so sad. I'm... How old am I? How old are we?
We're 19.
We are 19. We have the same birthday. We were born... You want to tell the story?
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
You tell the story and then I'll finish my introduction.
I'm older, right?
2 hours.
2 hours older. Okay, so we were born in the same hospital in Atlanta, Georgia, Westside Hospital. So I'm trying to think. So I was born at like 7-ish p.m. on November 19th, and you were born
9-ish.
9-ish. So we were in the same hospital for a period of time. But then what's weird is that you moved to Nashville, you said that earlier, when?
Like 2005, yeah.
Yeah, and then I moved like probably 2007-ish. And then somehow we both ended up at the same like middle school and lower school at in Nashville. In high school. Yeah, we did go to high school together, yeah.
You did.
In Nashville, which is just it's I don't know, it's weird to me.
Which is crazy. Yeah.
Very similar, like yeah.
Yeah. And we didn't figure it out until not too long into it, because I think we were good friends since.
Yeah. Well, when did you come to Harding?
I came to Harding in 2nd grade because I went to Ventura.
Okay. Yeah.
And then.
Because you knew. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
And then I knew Lola and company from Ventura.
Gotcha.
She went to Ventura. Zach Rudder went to Ventura.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
And a couple other people like Max Kohler and company like that. Gotcha. They all went to Ventura, and then we all like Maria Weir as well. Yeah. All transferred over to Harding, and then that's just kind of where we are now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we found out that we were born in the same hospital, and then it was like, oh my gosh, it's so crazy, and then we've kind of been friends since.
Yeah.
Kind
of. I feel like that's what kind of part of what made us friends.
Yeah.
In a way.
I'd say so. And then so I'm 19. We're 19, turning 20, and
me first.
4 months and 12 days. I can do math. Yes, that's correct. And I like making videos, hence what we're doing right now. And Jackson likes making music.
Yeah, 4 months, 12 days.
Yes. And so we were like, oh my gosh, it'd be so crazy if we made a video about music and whatever else is on our mind, because we actually have absolutely no idea what we're doing for this. But we were like, okay, this would be really fun, because what's the YouTube channel called?
Hive Mind.
That's something that he watches a lot, and it's like, let's make a Hive Mind like episode talking about music taste. I think that we can do like music taste, talk about like our Spotify stats, maybe, and then you said you had
so like I feel like we both are very interested in like, not, I wouldn't say pop culture, it's more of just like film and music in general, and maybe me more music, and obviously I like when it comes to making stuff, you're more film and music. Yeah. But like I feel like we're both interested in the genres, like what the types of art.
Yeah.
In that way, and so I feel like, and also like I feel like we have like, we can, conversation wise, it's like I feel like we have a lot of stuff that we like have in common in our interests, and also like aren't in common.
I would say so.
Yeah.
I would definitely.
But yeah, I could start with talking about this movie thing I was gonna say.
Yes, I would love to hear what you have to say.
Okay, so what would you consider like the most accurate like movie rating?
The most accurate.
Like if you were gonna decide, like you're like, okay, let's go to the theater to watch a movie. You don't have like one you really want to see, but like you want to go see a movie. Mm. What do you look at? I think there's like 2 common answers here. Neither.
Hot take.
Not a hot take. That's kind of my point.
Because I'm like, at first I was like, man, I was a huge trailer guy, huge IMDb guy, huge like YouTube reviews before it went out. But then now I'm just like, I've realized how many movies have just been spoiled for me, like
Fair.
right before I got in, when I saw the trailer and like pieced things together, or when I saw the reviews. So I'm like, I go in blind. Like for this new Spider-Man movie that came out, like what, April?
You're talking about
Spider-Man,
the animated one.
Yeah, the animated one. The why am I forgetting the name?
Across the Spider-Verse.
Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
I saw that 3 times, and within a span of 2 weeks, I forgot the name. But like, I didn't see a trailer for it whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I saw glimpses of stuff that was like on YouTube or on like random memes or whatever, and I scroll past because I'm like, when I go into that, I'm like, I don't want to see anything, and I go in clean slate.
Yeah.
So that's kind of
it's a different experience for sure. Like if you don't watch like there are times like when I was like really into like knowing what's gonna happen in a movie beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'd like watch the trailers, I'd watch breakdowns of the trailers and stuff, and like I'd go in like having a lot of knowledge, and like stuff would still surprise me because like they keep stuff out of the trailers sometimes, but like it's a completely different thing to just go into a movie blind.
Right. I'd say so.
Yeah, and like it can be better, I think, and I think it's just you take away like some of the anticipation is not as good.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's similar with like music wise. It's like album rollouts. Like a lot of artists will, a lot of artists will have like long rollouts. You know, like Travis Scott's in the middle of one now where it's like he's putting up billboards and stuff, and he's been talking about this album for 3 years.
Really? Like he's coming up with a new one soon?
5 years.
Oh my gosh.
So he dropped Astroworld 2018 August.
That was 2018?
Or maybe July. Yeah, 2018.
Oh my gosh, that was a long time.
So we were going into freshman year.
Yeah.
And he hasn't dropped. He dropped like Jack Boys, which is not really, it's his label, but not his project. So yeah.
What about the Scots?
The Scots was just a single. That was with Kid Cudi. But like he's dropped singles, like Highest in the Room was on there too. But yeah, so he's been rolling this album out, and it's really started like now, like with a lot of like Billboard stuff. He like recreated the Abbey Road cover, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But then there's also like Drake, arguably most people would say Drake's best album. Like it was just complete out of the blue.
Mm-hmm.
If you're reading this, it's too late. Like it, like just random.
Right.
It's a mixtape. Like no one expected it, and like both strategies work.
Right.
It's the thing that's crazy. It's like, I don't know. And then some people have they have a rollout, but it's very minimal. And I think it's just both create different things. Like, I think rolling an album out can add to the hype to make it more exciting when they actually listen to it.
That's true.
There's also a certain thing about the feeling you get like randomly on a Thursday night. You see,
really? I never noticed that this is a thing. That was the same thing with me and Uzi's album that just came out.
Oh, really?
What's this called?
Pink Tape.
Pink Tape. Because it was, I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it was.
I have a lot of opinions on that.
Like, I don't really know if I am like that big of an Uzi fan. I mean, like I like some of his songs, some of his more popular stuff. That's great. Like he's a wholesome artist.
Yeah,
I guess. That's cool. But like, I think I agree. Like I appreciate the spontaneous. Like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that this artist was out. Especially if it's a one of your favorite artists.
Yeah.
But like, I do also see. I mean, with artists, I think it's a little different when it comes to like trailers and stuff like that. Because I mean, they have like leaks.
Yeah.
Like,
no one surprise drops a movie.
Yeah.
That would be kind of weird.
It's so funny. If there were like some Sony movie was just like, we just have a movie. Like, because like nobody would know about it. Nobody would go to the theaters.
Avengers 5 is in theaters now.
It just came out of nowhere. Just be like, okay, I guess we're going to movie theaters. Like, that's crazy. But I don't know. Like, do you feel like you watch trailers and stuff like that pretty?
I'd say I still do. I don't really go out of my way to like watch trailers anymore. Like I used to be like, it'd be like when a trailer would come out, I'd watch it immediately and like I'd watch the breakdowns. Right. And now it's like if I see something like in a movie I'd be interested in, like I'd watch it. But like I'm not gonna like analyze it.
Right.
But yeah, so that's what I was saying earlier. I'm gonna read the two, just some examples. So I feel like a lot of people, like there's IMDb, which is IMDb is critics, right?
Right.
And then there's Rotten Tomatoes. And Rotten Tomatoes, I feel like people think they're like, that's the accurate one. And like they're wrong. But I'm just saying. So some of the examples I wanted to say. Have you seen The Flash?
The new one?
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna watch that. It looks terrible.
Okay. Now hear me out. That's my point. So I was under the impression like it didn't look good. DC has not done well in the Justice League saga.
It's terrible.
Yeah. So, but it got a good rating on IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes.
What was it?
Let's see. it's not like perfect or anything.
Right.
But so I went to see it 64, which is fresh, barely. I think it was higher. I think it was higher when I saw it. But so when I went to see it blind, I had no clue. I didn't read any reviews. I went to see it and it was probably the funniest movie I've ever seen.
Really?
And not in a good way.
Okay.
Like it was like I laughed. There's in one of the opening scenes, it's a hospital that's like collapsing.
Yeah.
And these babies are all like I guess they were just born.
Mm-hmm.
They fall out of the hospital, out of the window.
Yeah.
And he has to like save them, but he's hungry, so like he eats during the middle of it, which is weird. But then he puts a baby in a microwave to save it.
He's trying to be Quicksilver so bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I agree. And like it is funny how like the Flash was so much bigger than Quicksilver, and then they just did him right in the movies.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. But and then like later. It's a lot. Like Michael Keaton is. There's a scene where like it's like he's been saying he's not going to do this for a long time.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they go, "Are you coming with us?" And he looks at him and he goes, "You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts." And it's just like
what? It's like the most out of the blue thing.
Yeah, it's just there's just a lot. And I think one of the funniest scenes is it's the big battle, right? So the whole idea is they can travel in time.
Yeah.
So Michael Keaton this is the first time, their first attempt to beat these bad guys. He's flying in his little Batwing.
Yeah. And
there's this big spaceship, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, "I'm going for the big one." And he goes at it. He shoots it, does nothing. He gets shot and dead. Then they go back in time, try it again. And he goes, same thing. "I'm going for the big one." And then the Flash goes, "No, don't. It's like, it has armor." And he goes, "Okay." And he just goes away, and you see it. It's just
so stupid.
It's the writing. But it was one of the most fun experiences I've had.
Just because it was so stupid.
But that's what I'm back to the point of the review. I get home and I'm like, this had to have gotten ripped to shreds, right?
Yeah.
I get home and it's like, at that point it was higher on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. And
the reviews were saying it's like Ezra Miller delivers an incredible performance. And it's talking about how and I was like, what? This is weird.
Mm-hmm.
And I started to think about it more and more, and I realized how in some cases it's right.
Mm-hmm.
Like the new Spider-Man, like you were talking about, got great reviews and it should have.
Right.
But then there's I watched this movie 2 nights ago called Evil Dead Rise.
Yeah.
Got good reviews, and it's been out a while.
Yeah.
And it's just awful.
What's it about?
So how horror movies, good horror movies, it's like a slow burn,
it's a new-ish horror movie, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Like a slow burn.
Mm-hmm.
It's like The Conjuring, in my opinion. It's the quintessential horror movie in a way.
Yeah.
It's everything you'd expect from a horror movie.
Hereditary type thing, right?
Hereditary is different.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In my opinion. But I think Hereditary is better than The Conjuring. I do think that. But I'm saying
that's right.
The Conjuring, it's about a possession in a house that's haunted.
Mm-hmm.
It's everything. It's a well done normal horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
So this movie starts with this girl that's sick at this log cabin, and then she's already possessed.
Okay.
And then she kills people, and then she floats out of the water, and the title says Evil Dead Rise, and it says and it goes a day earlier, and it has this whole story about how the possession starts. But within 15 minutes, the person's possessed and is already trying to kill people. It's pure action. But it's not like an adventure. They're in the house the whole time.
There's no reason why she should be possessed.
Yeah, it's just, it all happens so fast. And it's the point that I'm making is by the end of that movie, there's it's just pure gore. Yeah. But you're so numb to it at that point, it doesn't feel like anything. Yeah. And that's the thing, and it got great reviews. Yeah. And that's my point is I think sometimes the audience score isn't true. Mm-hmm. Because there's a different I would have rated The Flash high just because it was hilarious.
It was so stupid, yeah.
But the critics, I feel they're focusing on the color grading in Evil Dead Rise is there,
right?
And it's cool,
and they're right,
but it's the film itself is not good,
right?
So I think it's just there's not And overall, I think just go see movies.
Right.
If you're interested in the idea, go
Mhm.
see the movie.
Yeah.
Don't not go or go based on anything.
Right.
So
I agree. Actually, because we're on the topic of horror movies. What are your top 3?
top 3
Do you have them off the top of your head?
is Get Out included.
Sure.
Oh, I don't even know. I'm not even my top 3. But okay, I definitely say Hereditary.
Yeah.
That's one of the few. I like. There's horror movies that scare me. Most of them do. I get scared pretty easily. But Hereditary genuinely freaked me out.
Really?
Like that. Like just there's just scenes in that where you're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'd say I'm trying to think of. Because there's also something to be said for like old horror movies.
Mhm.
They're not as scary now as they probably were back then,
Yeah,
but they're good
the
movies,
CGI,
like
yeah,
Alien,
yeah.
for instance.
Yeah.
It's a
I
great.
have seen Alien.
You'd love Alien.
Is that the one with the?
Yeah.
Oh, then I have. Okay, yeah.
I mean, it's a good movie, but it doesn't really scare me compared to what is out now.
Yeah.
I'd say The Conjuring is probably up there in my top 3, just because of how, like, I watched that when I was way too young,
Right.
so it really freaked me out,
Mhm.
and so like I have like an attachment to that. And then it's tough after that. Like, Get Out is probably one of the best like films if you consider it in the horror genre. But man, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like the first Insidious movie is great.
Because I would say like my top 3. I mean, I would also agree Hereditary's up there.
Yeah.
I definitely have you seen the Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
No,
because that one was on Netflix. I don't know if it still is, but it's definitely one like that right there is, I would say, the scariest movie that I've seen. So that
isn't it kind of like realistic almost?
It is because it's based on a true story and it's just gory. It's just so gory.
But like there's not much supernatural.
No, there's not.
That's
interesting. And that's the thing. That's probably one of the reasons why it's really high on my list. Is because it's one of the few that I've genuinely been scared. Because like I typically watch them with like a group of people, and like it's scary, but like I'm the one to mess with everybody else. Yeah, but you genuinely are in there, and you're like, that is one that I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
that one was crazy.
Yeah,
because Texas Chainsaw Massacre definitely was there. I didn't actually think about like Jordan Peele's movies until you mentioned them for some reason. But like I would say Us, in my opinion, was the top of his trilogy so far in terms of scariness. Because
scariness, I agree.
I think Get Out's writing was very good, very original. I liked it. Us, in terms of just general thriller, and spoiler alert, if you've not watched Us, skip like 30 seconds ahead. But like you've seen it, yes. Okay, so like the end when she's like in the car or whatever, and you have like the plot twist when she's looking at her son. And then you realize that she's the alternate or whatever. Like that was crazy. Like, and then the entire time when you realize like, okay, it's pretty scary when you realize, it's like a whole world of little people underground who were like an exact copy and all that. I think that was really, really cool, and like another new thought to like the horror genre and stuff like that. So those two are definitely like up there. And then I think I agree Conjuring is just like a general really good one. But I don't think it would be in my top 3 because I would probably.
So what are you putting Us in your top 3?
So I'm putting Us in the top 3. I would say top is Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Gotcha.
Second would be Us. Third would probably be
Hereditary.
Okay,
that's fair.
But then I do have a question for you because you said your top 3. You were.
Well, for me,
did you find?
Yeah, like the thing is, like a Jordan Peele, I agree. I think Us is definitely like the scarier one of the 3.
Yeah.
But I personally didn't like that as much as the other 2.
Yeah.
A lot of people that like saw Nope didn't like it.
And I do want to ask you about that because we are talking about Jordan Peele stuff, and I do want to talk about Nope, and I also want to talk about Midsommar and how those two kind of fit in. And I do want to ask you about that. Yeah. Do you think that Midsommar and Nope are in the horror genre? Are they horror movies, or are they more thriller?
I'd say Midsommar. Midsommar's it's a horror movie. Okay. I'd say it's psychological, but I think it's horror. I mean, the whole idea of a cult and like they slowly start to realize that they're gonna die, and that stuff. I think it's just a very different way to go about it. Yeah. But I think it's horror. Nope, on the other hand, it reminds me more of like Signs. Have you ever seen Signs?
I've not.
It's really similar to Signs.
Really?
Yeah. So Signs was by Shyamalan, M. Night Shyamalan.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm saying that right. But
Hopefully.
so he was known for twists, right?
Yeah.
And I don't want to. Can I spoil it, or do you?
I'm probably gonna watch it. So
Okay.
Just give me a general overview.
Okay.
I guess. Yeah.
So the whole idea is that like he normally has twists, right? And I won't spoil it, but this movie doesn't really have a twist. It's just written to where the ending is very what's the word? Satisfying.
Okay.
It's very everything comes together perfectly.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. But the whole idea of an alien, and you don't really see the alien, you don't know what the alien is for a long time.
Yeah.
Same thing as in Nope.
Interesting. Okay.
But I think Nope never really like freaked me out.
no.
It
was an action movie.
Yeah, but it's a good movie.
Yeah.
And like for instance, the scene with the alien where it's just that like kid.
Yeah.
Like that's awesome.
Scary. Yeah.
It's like oh I'm scared, and then you're like oh.
Yeah.
And like, but I think Get Out is his best.
Mm-hmm.
I think I had more fun watching Nope.
I agree with that.
And then I think Us is definitely like the scariest.
Mm-hmm.
But even Us, it's like I just feel like I wasn't as invested in that movie as I was in the other two.
That's fair. That's very fair.
Um,
How'd you like the commentary on like the? I thought that the theme that I got from Nope was like the whole media's commentary on like the need for getting the shot. Of course, I mean that was the whole point of that.
Yeah.
But getting I wasn't a big spoilers again. Oh, my battery's about to go out, so we'll see how long that goes. But I wasn't a huge fan of the videographer, like the cinematographer guy or whatever, that he was just scooped up. Do you think that was fair? Like, I didn't really think that aligned with the general like overview of like the movie theme, in my opinion. I don't think that there was a reason for him to die.
I mean, I understand that. Like, I think, but like you were saying, it is about like they're like you're trying to get the shot, you know, and that's his only goal in life. And the whole, I think, in my opinion, I think that was done on purpose to where it's like. That's all. Like he it's almost like it's unsettling when he just runs and like you're like, what is he doing? And you're like, this is like the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Yeah. And I think I almost think that was done on purpose to where it's like he's blindly gonna try to. He blindly wants success so much that he's just gonna get sucked up by the alien.
That's fair.
And I think that's part of it. And like, I don't know. I think that movie's it's interesting how it slowly turns from like it starts very slow and it slowly builds, but near the end it's like a lot going on.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
I agree.
But I think overall, like the theme of that one was less obvious than the other two.
You think?
I think less people, yeah.
Okay.
I'd say so.
Maybe I'm biased because, video stuff.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know what you mean by that. Yeah.
I'm gonna pause. Hold on before the
camera dies.
Camera dies. Yeah. All right, let me.
We're back.
Lovely. And keep it up, Rex.
Bring your babies to the screen.
Bring your babies to the screen.
Ah! Tried to like bait him that time.
Yeah, it was
good. Nice little wave, and then
I thought that was really good.
Yeah.
You should become a professional baby scared.
Yeah.
Yeah. Had me scared.
Like Sully, Monsters Inc. University. The end of Monsters Inc. They start making him laugh. What?
I never watched Disney.
Okay, I'll say this right now, and this is talk all you want. Monster University is in my top 5 movies of all time.
That's disgusting.
It's amazing.
That's disgusting.
It
cannot be that good.
It is hilarious.
It cannot be that good.
It's so funny. You don't understand. Have you seen it?
No. I'm gonna hate on it because it's a kids movie.
It's incredible.
Okay, no hate on really good kids movies. Incredibles, absolutely fan. That was good. Yeah, classic.
There's a lot of bad kids movies, fine, but Monster University, its story is fine. It's nothing special. It's an interesting idea, but it is hilarious. I've never laughed harder in a movie, and I know I said it about The Flash, but this one actually makes me laugh.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
like just
it genuinely makes me laugh.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Okay, don't get mad. Let's go back to this.
Okay, that's crazy. All right, cool. That's your turn. Wait.
No,
yeah,
you're just going.
Keep It Up was 15.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
It's you.
Okay, all time now.
Ooh. Oh, this is a crazy
I'm interested to see what mine are. Wow, this is not fun. Y'all are going to be very bored.
Oh, man.
So, tracks 1, 2, and 3 are Escape, which is Don Toliver's intro. I think that's probably on Life of a Dawn, the second album. I think that's probably because it's a shorter intro. It's a shorter song. And I listen to that album front to back a lot.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I don't get to the back because I have to go somewhere.
Right.
Way Bigger and Swingin' on West Hammer are 2 and 3, both off that album. Those are my two favorite songs on that album. Way Bigger has an outro of about like 20 seconds that he leaked a lot earlier on purpose. And it's beautiful. And the whole song's good. Fourth is Famous. Again, listen, please. I am broke. Fifth is Outer Space. Well, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. I'll just go in order. They're all off that Life of a Dawn album. Outer Space, Double Standards, Flocky Flocky, Company Part 2, Get Throwed.
Wow.
Then 10th is Mafia by Travis Scott, which I think is a really underappreciated song. It's partially because it came out during the whole tragedy with Astroworld. But like that song itself is very different. It's like it's like sad almost. It's very interesting piano sample.
Right.
Then 11th is Intro off Drake's Honestly Nevermind album, which is another album I listen to all the way through. That song is like 20 something seconds long.
Right.
So it's like it's just saxophone. So like, but when I listen to that album, it's all the way through. I don't go to certain songs.
Okay.
So like that's kind of why. And then Is There Someone Else, which is off Dawn FM. Maybe my favorite song on there. Track 6. What?
Which one was your favorite one you said?
Is There Someone Else?
Okay, gotcha.
And then track 6, which is off, like I was saying, Ty Dolla $ign's featuring Ty Dolla $ign's album. And that's the one that's featuring, that song has Anderson .Paak, Kanye West, and Thundercat.
What's it called?
Track 6. It's the 6th track.
Is that?
It's really good. It's a very good song.
Track 6. That I just realized that song existed 2 weeks ago.
That album went really under the radar, and it's incredible.
That's
it's a really
crazy.
good album.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I gotta listen to this.
Then I have
2020. Okay, yeah.
Let's see, 14 and 15, Crossfaded and You, off the second Don Toliver album.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's so crazy.
I think part of it is, I will say this, I switched to Spotify like sophomore year.
Oh.
So that like it's still been a lot of time, or maybe no, like junior year. So it's still been a lot of time, but I think that's partially why like a lot of these like I was like when I really listened to Rodeo, I really listened to Heaven or Hell, like After Hours even. I was listening on Apple Music.
Okay.
So it's like obviously I still go back to those albums, but like when I feel like I'm listening to music most, what?
It's an L. You want it?
Did I switch or that went to?
That's you had Apple Music.
I agree. Place. I agree. It's worse.
Then take it. There you go. Fantastic. Keep going. You're good.
But I was gonna say, yeah, like it's very like when I feel like when I listen to albums most is right when they come out. Like, obviously, I still go back to the albums I love, which is like apparent. But like I listen to After Hours, I'm sure, just as much as I listen to that Don Toliver album.
Yeah.
But that's the only album in that time span really that I've been that obsessed with.
That's right. That was a really good take. I like that. That's a solid list. That's pretty good.
It's just all Don Toliver.
Is it diversified? Not really, but that's okay.
Yeah.
And that's because I mean, again, like you just
there's definitely like there was probably a 2-month period. That's all I did. Listen to that album.
But that's good. Do you keep track of your Spotify Rewind or whatever, your Spotify Recap 20?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, do you remember off the top of your head like how many like hours listened to or minutes?
Is it minutes? I think I was in like 50, 60,000.
That's deep.
Yeah. That's all I do.
Wow.
I mean,
like, makes sense, but like,
yeah. I mean, it's like if I'm not making music, I'm listening to it. It's kind of the idea.
And that's good. You got to get good inspiration. You got to get good little levels of everything.
Yeah.
That's not bad at all. That's pretty good. Do you remember your stuff from last year? Or
I mean, it was a lot of that.
Yeah.
But then I'm trying to think of what else was on there. I remember Drake was my most listened to artist, and that made me very upset. But yeah. And then I think Weeknd was second.
That's impressive.
Yeah. But I think, I mean.
Yeah. Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe Don Toliver. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. All right. So my top tracks of all time are.
How long have you had Spotify?
Since 2014.
So it's been a long time.
It's been a good bit.
That's interesting. Okay.
So these are, looking at them now, all influenced by my high school experience, because I didn't necessarily listen to music as much as I did in middle school as I did in high school.
Yeah.
And I do a little more now I'm in college because of the commutes going like to and from classes.
Yeah, that's very true.
Because case for freshman dorms, it's a good 20-minute walk to first class.
Fair.
So like it's not too long, but it's long enough to, listen to some music. So number 1 is Herman's Habit by Justin Hurwitz. It is a song from La La Land. I've never actually finished La La Land. I started it like years after I listened to Herman's Habit. I was obsessed with the soundtrack for a while, but I didn't watch the movie. Movie's good. I was like with people when we watched it, and the vibe wasn't there, so I stopped and just haven't picked it up then. But Herman's Habit and the number 3 song that we'll say in a second as well were both jazz or just heavy jazz, and I wanted to make a music video to those songs, and so I listened to those songs on repeat for hours and hours and hours. So that's why that's number 1.
Well, I was gonna ask, just it's kind of off topic, but like for me, like when I make my lyrics, what I'll do is I'll loop the section that I'm gonna be writing over, so I can just slowly figure it out, write stuff down, keep going. So for you, like if you were making like a music video, is that kind of how you think about things? You just listen to something on repeat and then kind of write down ideas at certain points?
It's exactly how that happens. I listen to another way on how I listen to music. A lot of the more upbeat stuff. I mean, literally, actually everything. Same thing with like slow stuff with Daniel Caesar. I always put a visual to how I think the audio is portrayed.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense. So I typically approach a lot of the music that I listen to as to how am I going to make a music video out of this?
That's cool. Yeah.
Have I made a music video yet? No. Do I want to make a music video?
Yeah.
Yes.
Fair.
Why haven't we made a music video? I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And that's okay. So we're going to do that.
Yeah. Deal.
We're going to do that.
I'm down.
It's on camera. It's going to happen.
Oh,
all right.
No.
It's okay.
No, I'm excited.
Will you drown when I'm putting you in the water when we're shooting a music video? Yes. Will that matter? No. Because it's on camera. And we're going to get views. I'm going to get views because you're going to be dead.
I'll be dead. I will be dead.
I'm kidding. Okay. No. So.
He's going to kill me.
I'm going to kill him because I'm going to make him do some crazy stunt on camera. And then he's going to love it. He's going to have a smile on his face.
And I'm going to die.
But it'll be fantastic.
Yes.
And the whole crew's just going to be like, Jackson is a great man.
Yeah.
He's amazing. No. But I think that we should actually...
All honesty, I think it's a great idea. Yeah.
I think so. I think it'd be cool to do. I don't even know what vibe we'd do.
Yeah.
But we'll figure it out.
Sad.
So sad.
Really sad.
Really sad. Depressing.
Describes me well.
Moody lighting. All the above.
Just a lot of crying.
He's such a sad man. Yeah, he cries all the time. See those glasses right there? That
crying. I've been crying this whole time.
That's what I'm saying. Somebody calling you.
It's my father.
Wonderful.
Hello? I'm recording a video with Darin.
Hi, Mr. Talent.
Yes. I think we're getting close to finishing up.
I agree.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, sounds good. All right. Bye. My dad says hi.
Wonderful. You ready?
Should like do the thing where you speed that up.
I think we should.
That'd be awesome.
I think that would be wonderful.
Yeah. Okay.
We should leave this part in though. Of
yeah, me telling you to speed it up.
Yes.
Yeah. You could speed that up.
That would also be really funny.
That's
or
like...
I could slow it down.
Yeah.
No. Okay. Number 2, I actually think is the craziest thing ever because I didn't expect this to be my number 2 of all time. Lift Me Up by Rihanna from the second Black Panther movie.
So you must have had to listen to that a lot.
I listened to that.
It's not that old.
No. It was definitely in the 50s.
What?
For like Herman's Habit from what I remember so far is in the early 50s. For like the amount of times that I've not like 50s in terms of time. I'm talking about 50s in terms of the amount of time that I've listened to.
That's okay. Wait, actually, hold on. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because for me, I don't know how much music like minutes you listen to.
Right.
But I don't think it's like low.
It's like in the 30s or 40s.
Yeah. See, that's not low.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is like those Don Toliver songs per year were like in that range.
Really?
Which is what's interesting. I guess for me, that must mean that like I listen to songs like certain songs a lot more.
Okay,
Like,
interesting.
you must listen. Like, I think I listen to a wide variety, but I do go back to certain songs a lot.
I don't.
Yeah, see, that makes sense. Okay, because I was gonna say I don't think you listen to like much less music than me.
Mm-mm.
So that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I didn't think about it like that because my like 50 is my top.
Yeah.
Like 50s, maybe that
Of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Which is pretty wild, I guess.
And that's also probably why I know lyrics of some songs really well.
That is also.
I've listened to them 100 times.
That is
So,
also
yeah.
very true. That could also be a very big reason.
Yeah.
2 out of the top 3 though are also
No.
don't have lyrics, so that doesn't really prove
Yeah.
anything. But still, I totally see what you mean. And I noticed on number 4 though, we'll talk about that soon. But that's an 8-minute song, and
I'm pretty sure it starts counting after 30 seconds.
really,
Because I'm pretty sure that's how when I would do like with my songs, I looked all that stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty sure after 30 seconds.
And
That's
it counts
why.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess I don't have to listen to all 8, but that's
Mhm.
crazy. So number 2 is "Lift Me Up." Small story. Chadwick, rest in peace. He was definitely one of. He was a great actor, of course. And Black Panther, I watched I think 4 weekends in a row. I know 4 weekends in a row when it
I
first
have
came
a
out.
hot take.
Hot take.
I think by the end of that movie, I was rooting for Michael B. Jordan to win.
Really,
I love Michael B. Jordan as an
That's
actor, and his character was so cool.
it was so well written.
Yeah.
It really was.
You
because
feel for him.
you really do, and you're like, oh my gosh, he has a point.
Yeah. But you don't want Chadwick to lose.
You don't, because he's the main character. He's
Yeah.
got plot armor, of
Yeah.
course. Issues between both of them, I really liked how that kind of clashed and all
Yeah.
that. Whiplash is number 3 by Hank Levi.
Is that from the movie?
That's from the movie.
Okay.
Just because it's a good song,
Yeah.
and I was thinking about having a music video to it. Moon River by Jacob Collier. I stand by. I think that is the best.
He's also on the
produced-
Billie Jean song with Corey Henry.
Really?
It's both
That
them.
makes sense. I think that Moon River is the best produced song.
Question: is it like the classic Moon River standard thing?
No.
I mean, I'm sure it changes it, but is that what it's based off?
Yes.
Of? Okay, that's
Yeah.
cool. Because I know
Um,
Frank Ocean also did a Moon River.
also
That's
did one.
amazing.
His one was also very good. I like that one.
I'm
I
sure it's a
didn't-
different vibe.
It is.
But
It's very slow. You don't hear anything. It's just vocals for the first minute and a half.
But is it vocoded vocals? I'm guessing with him.
Folk.
So vocoder is it's like a keyboard with a microphone in it, and you sing, and it puts out the notes with your voice.
It could be.
And it might be, but him and Corey Henry both are very vocoder.
Mhm.
Him more than Corey Henry.
Right.
Vocoder centric.
Right.
But yeah, that sounds like that's right up my alley.
Right. Yeah, that's you, Mr. Music theory guy.
Mm.
So that's not me. But I know that there's a really good YouTube video breakdown, like a 3-hour video
About the song?
about the song, about how he recorded him editing the video or the
That's cool.
the song,
Yeah.
and how he pieced it together. He got over 150 different people, I think, or something like that, in the first part of the song, because I think he got famous because he was a music theory prodigy, I think.
Oh yeah,
Right?
it's weird.
So his music is good.
Perfect
It's
pitch.
hit or miss, right? But this song specifically, he got a bunch of people to just send in iPhone recordings, or come into a studio and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and to record, and it's just a crap ton of just layered music, and it's fantastic. I also wanted to put that to a video. Still do.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. New Love Song by Duckworth. That is the second song in the album, I think. Let me see. New Love Song. Oh, it's the first one. Sorry. So it's the intro to Duckworth's super good album, and it's probably why it's up there. It's just absolutely amazing. Because with that album specifically, I would always listen to it all the way through.
Gotcha.
So that's probably why it's up there. Great song. Happier Than Ever, Billie Eilish, number 6. Great song. Love Billie. Starts really slow. Love that. And then it also picks up. And I like, it's also kind of got a rock vibe-ish.
Mhm.
So it's pretty cool. Number 7, Earthquake. Tyler. It's classic Tyler. I think that's probably one of the songs that made him from a
It brought him into
respected
pop.
artist to a pop mainstream artist.
Yeah.
100%. and that's when I started to listen to him. I was not like an OG like Golf Wang, is that what he calls it, or Wolfgang, whichever one he calls it both. I think I don't remember. Tyler fan because his old stuff is. Anyways,
a lot of it's problematic.
It's a little interesting. Kiss You Right Now is the next one by Duckworth. That one's really good. Just also on the album. Uncle Jazz by Men I Trust. Crazy that that's number 9. Same thing with the next song, because both of these songs are songs that I just found as well earlier last semester.
Interesting. Yeah.
Men I Trust and Lamp were the 2 artists that I would listen to the most when it comes to studying or when it comes to walking to and from class, because they're just really relaxing.
Gotcha. You can do this one.
I cannot pronounce this number 10 because it's a Lamp song and it's in Japanese.
Japanese, okay.
And let me see what it sounds like. I'm trying to remember. So that one's just like super relaxing.
How'd you find them?
I don't remember.
If it's a group, I'm not sure. But...
It is. So it's a group of 3 artists.
Gotcha.
And Lamp. So sometimes it switches between like a male and female vocals. But I have no idea how I found them. I just found them one day and I was absolutely obsessed. And Lamp shot within 3 months. Never listened to them. 2, I believe they're in my top 10 of all time.
Really?
Because they have such a large discography that you can just listen to them for so long. We doing top 15?
Yeah.
Okay. 11, Money Dance, also from Duckworth. 12, All I Need, also Jacob Collier. That was the first song that I got into Jacob Collier with.
Ty Dolla $ign again. He features on everything. It's weird.
He's good, and it works really well. My Future, Billie Eilish, also great song. I think that was mid-COVID. 14, Run It Up, Tyler. We gonna run it.
I have a hot take.
Yes.
Love that. That song was good.
Right.
Tizo Touchdown sucks. Bad.
Oh, I hate that. I hate him. I skipped that part.
He's bad.
I hate it.
He's really bad. He's on...
There's no reason for him to be in the song.
On the new Don Toliver album, he sings, it's like off key. And then there's one other... What's the other album he's been on recently? That's the Lil Yachty album.
Yeah.
And he sucks on that too. He's off key. Like, it does... I don't know why they keep having him on things.
It's stupid.
It bothers me.
Autotune's terrible too. Flow's bad.
It's like they don't it's like they half auto-tune them and then like they just let them get the bad bits. It's bad. It's bad. It's real bad.
And number 15, How Deep Is Your Love, featuring Yebba by PJ Morton. Just classic PJ Morton song.
Wait,
that was the one.
Which one is that?
You may have heard it. I think it's one of his most popular. Hold on.
How deep is your love? Like the ocean.
No, that's Drake.
No, it's not.
Yeah, is it not? Oh wait, no, that's Major Lazer.
That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's Major Lazer.
How deep is your love?
That's like an EDM song. Not Drake.
Wait, let's see.
It's not Drake. There's no way.
Major Lazer.
How
deep? Wait. Oh, that's Calvin Harris.
That makes sense.
That makes sense. Yeah. No, this is How Deep Is Your Love. This is How Deep
Is Yebba's on it?
This is Yebba, yeah. Is your love, how deep is your love?
Yebba is on the Drake album.
She is
It's a good song.
Yebba's Heartbreak or whatever, yeah. This was the only song that I knew of her until Yebba's Heartbreak. Because she's got a really good voice. She's got 5 million monthly listeners. She was in... I hate new Ed Sheeran. Past, like...
I don't like him at all anyway.
Past, like, Thinking Out Loud, I'm not going to lie.
I don't think I've ever messed with him.
Really?
But I don't think I have any problem with you messing with him. It's just like...
he's just irrelevant, man. At this point, I mean, he's so relevant at this thing. He's like number 3 in the world. But that's the thing. It's like worldwide everything.
Let's see. Okay, so Mal, we're going to...
top artist of all time.
Gotcha. Okay, so considering my my like streams, it's not going to be surprising. Don Toliver's first. Probably my second favorite artist, and then these are kind of flip flop. But The Weeknd's probably my favorite artist. He's second, and then Awesome, Drake is third, And I think part of it is it's just he has such a big discography. So when I listen to music, it's like there's more chance that he's going to come up at some point. Kendrick's at 4. I really like. I was into Pimp a Butterfly for a while, but I really got into it. I just listened to it over and over again this semester, and I loved Mr. Morale. Thought that whole album was great. 5 is Bryson Tiller, who I recently saw in concert. Love his music. I'm a big fan of his most recent album, which is Anniversary, not including the Christmas album, but Anniversary is very good. And then He Who Should Not Be Named is my 6th person. The creator of the shoes. And the problematic person.
Problematic person.
Yeah, is 6th. Yeah. But I mean, production is something else from him always. I mean, you gotta credit that. But
I cannot agree with you more.
Yeah. But and then let's see, 7th. Now this is kind of weird. 7th is Tory Lanez, who like most of his music I don't like, but I'm a huge fan. I kind of liked Alone at Prom, but I liked he's an album. The album before that was called Playboy. It's really good. Alone at Prom is like full on, like he's trying to do 80s. Playboy, it's like similar with The Weeknd. It's like he takes like some ideas, like the vocoders in there a lot, but it's very like it's not much rap, and I like that from him. 8th is Baby Keem, which is kind of crazy. He's moved up that much. Melodic Blue is an incredible album. I wouldn't be surprised if people start moving that in their favorite albums of all time list. It's front to back good. 9 is Kid Cudi, surprisingly. I think this is also going to show, like I said, about like it's been the past 3 years for me instead of the past however it has been for you, almost 10.
Yeah.
So,
oof.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But Kid Cudi for like, I mean, fair, I'd say. I like a lot of his stuff. I think our generation can't appreciate him as much as others could. I know he's like people that like grew up during the time that he released Man on the Moon. They say like he changed their lives.
Right.
And like for us it's different, but
he's there. But
he's
like
yeah. 10th is Mac Miller, rest in peace. I really don't love a lot of his older stuff. There's some really good songs on The Divine Feminine, but then Swimming in Circles are almost perfect. Travis Scott's 11th, like probably in my top 5, almost for sure. Like I said, with Rodeo and Astroworld. And Birds in the Trap is underrated. Metro Boomin's 12th, so that's, I mean, like I said, you know, it's Heroes and Villains.
Right.
All those albums. And that's a lot because other. This is kind of a less known, I mean, he's not known at all, but his name's Big Baby Gucci.
Never heard of it.
He's very good. It's very like, the beats are very like crazy. And he's like a melodic rapper, but it's very fun music, and he releases constantly. So it's just nice to, you can turn him on and not have to know the words and still have a good time.
Right.
14th is Ty Dolla $ign.
It's everywhere, man.
Yeah, mostly because of that album. Love that album. And then 15th is JID. So hot take, like I love the Forever Story, love it, but I think I'd rather like, personally, I like DiCaprio 2 and the Never Story more. I think Forever Story is probably a better album, but I have more fun listening, or like just enjoy listening to those other 2 albums. Like Tide off DiCaprio 2 is incredible. As it's just like, it's an R&B song and it's great. And then there's like Never is another incredible, that one's on the Never Story. There's just a lot of like, the Never Story is like just a great album.
Right.
So, but Forever Stories, yeah, it's great, but I just don't like it as much.
That's pretty good. That's a good list. Very solid list. I mean, it kind of goes with all the other very popular songs that you've been listening to. But that's okay. That's good. Very, very good. Wow. Okay. Yep. Wow.
That's surprising.
That is crazy. Okay. So.
See, I think yours is going to be more variety because it's like, I don't know. I feel like we listen to music differently, and you've had it for longer. So it's interesting to watch. Look at this. I would not guess this from your streams.
I wouldn't either. Because
Duckworth, maybe.
My top artist of all time also don't always align with who are my top artists right now, of course, like you said, because it's been 10 years. But consistently, so Tyler the Creator is number 1. I think it's because the way the Spotify algorithm works, he overlaps in so many, because the way I listen to songs, it's always, at least now, and the way it's been, it's through playlists and through like Discovery, daily mixes when that came out a couple years ago, and then through radio. So Spotify's radio and suggested has always been the reason why I've stayed this long, right? And their discography, and that's why they push certain songs. They pushed Anderson .Paak, they pushed Thundercat, and they pushed Tyler. Those are the three people that they push a lot. Tyler has always been consistently in the radio or in some sort of like playlist or something like that I've always listened to, and so I think that's number one reason why he's number one. But I also still love his music. Don't really listen to many things pre Flower Boy. I don't think
there's some bangers, but I think it's but like musicality wise, I think it drops off. It's like they're like Smuckers is a great song, and there's a few like I'm trying to think of off the top of my head. There's a few others that are very like good,
right.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. I feel like this is just not really my opinion, but I feel like most people, it's like depending on what you like, but everyone kind of, I feel like most people think that Flower Boy is his best, and then a lot of people like Igor more.
Right.
I mean, like Igor's amazing too,
but it's also very poppy.
Yeah. Flower Boy is very. It's something. It's crazy.
That's probably the most Tyler. Do you agree with that?
It's hard. He's changed so much. Like it's like, because the thing is like he doesn't. The thing is Igor. There's very little of him rapping.
Yeah.
And Flower Boy has a little bit more of that. But it's not full of it. And then like it's just he goes back and forth.
Right.
I personally think like it's like I don't know. He changes constantly. So it's hard to like define him.
Right.
I feel like production wise it's easier. Even with like old Tyler sounding different from new Tyler.
Yeah.
But I think it's just like he could either be singing like a ballad or like rapping in that like raspy voice he has.
That's true.
So you don't really know.
That is very true. Because does he sing? Or is that actually his voice? Because I don't really.
It's his voice. It's just really edited.
Okay, because I thought that I never really guessed to check. I didn't know if that was him or if that was somebody else who was being featured on there. That's crazy. And then let me sit down. Okay, we're running out of storage, so.
This has been a talk.
We should say it like again. So
this has been a talk.
Yeah. Okay, we got 10 seconds left. What do you want to say?
Bring your child back on.
Bring your child back on.
I'm not gonna do anything.
Oh, okay. Bye.
That was the plan.
That's wonderful.